Welcome, folks out there. Uh, happy Friday, happy Saturday, whatever the day of the week is to y'all. And we are watching or listening to another episode of the Game and Watch podcast. This is episode number 98. I'm your boy, Justin Reed, aka Too Tall for You Fool. I am joined by my main man, the F Man, Finest Dabs, OVG, RView Gaming himself. And then, well, for once, it's not just the two of us this week, Finest. We got two.
Yeah, what are extra people? Did someone like hack us? Why is everyone else here? What's going on?
Yeah. We got to figure that out. All right. First, we have Max Hines from the Loading Bar podcast back with us once again. Hello, Max.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And we have a newcomer, Michael,
Hello.
aka Soygay Power. How you doing?
It's good. And let me correct you right there. It's Sugoi Power.
Sugoi Power.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, he doesn't know. He doesn't watch Japanese. You know, he doesn't watch Japanese anime and stuff like that.
I don't watch anime, man, but it's all good.
It's okay. We'll get you on that later.
No worries.
All right. So for all you listeners and viewers out there, thank you for watching or listening to the Game Watch podcast. Remember, if you're watching the show, you can podcast the show on any available platform that we are on. If you're listening to the show, you can watch us. I will drop a link in the show notes where you can watch our beautiful faces. And then just so you know that also in the show notes, we will have show notes for all the resources used for this episode. If you want to reach out to us, gameandwatchpodcast@gmail.com with any questions. We'll read any questions that you guys have for the end of the show. If you're watching us live, any comments we will read live toward the end of the show in our new segment that we've called Chat Room. Well, actually, Finest named it. We're just gonna run with that Chat Room, I guess. Chat Room until someone comes up with something better. And then, we have a Patreon. Any dollar donated to our Patreon will make this show better for all. That includes us, the host, and you, the listener or viewer. All right. And so, with all that being said, Michael, Sugoi Power. Tell us a little about yourself. This is your first time on the show. The floor is yours, man. What you've been playing, your gaming history, all that good stuff. We want to know.
Oh, we would talk about. Let's start with the gaming history. Then I've been playing games since the Super Mario on the Nintendo brick. So it's been a long time, and I was remembering. I think it was my mother I saw playing it, and I stole it from her, and I couldn't stop playing that stupid game for the longest time. And yeah, so that was my first memory of gaming, was the old, like the original Super Mario Bros. On it. And then from there I didn't really leave Nintendo. I think I stuck with Nintendo for a while. You know, we were playing the from Atari earliest to the 64, the GameCube, and eventually moving on to the Wii, and now I own 2 Switches. So it's been a long road. So I haven't really got much experience in like other mainstream console gaming, so like Xbox, PS4. But yeah, anything like Nintendo, indie, JRPGs, I'm all about that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, so you were the reason why I couldn't find a Switch at launch because you bought 2 of them?
I'm sorry.
Messed
I'm
up.
sorry. So I think what I've been playing recently was I don't know if you guys know of a game called Hunt Showdown. It's made by Crytek. So I've been playing that recently, and there's a new event on, so I've been sinking so much of my time into that game ever since the event started. But other than that, I play a whole bunch of other like indie games like Darkest Dungeon,
Nice.
Enter the Gungeon. Would you consider that
Nice.
indie? Yeah. And like in terms of JRPGs and stuff like that, I play a lot of Fire Emblem, Xenoblade, and Persona, which are like some of my favorite games. But I play all sorts. I also play Monster Hunter. I dabbled in Counter-Strike. I play League of Legends, which some people might hate, but it's what I got into.
That's. Oh no, what are you gonna say, J-Man?
I think the only game people hate around here is Fortnite, maybe, but I don't know.
Oh no, fun fact, I actually played Fortnite before Battle Royale. So do you know the whole like building thing, and it was against like zombies and stuff?
Yeah.
I actually played it before they went Battle Royale and blew up. Basically, I liked Fortnite, but then they did that, and so I stopped playing it.
All right.
Nice. I love
Sounds
it.
good. I mean, definitely. I know you're gonna like today's episode then with some of the games we talk about in the game spotlight later. Max, it's been a minute, man. How you been?
hmm I've been pretty busy. Kind of just, I don't know, a lot of weddings, a lot of extracurriculars, not a lot of podcasting, though I am writing. I promise things are coming. But yeah, on the games front, kind of all over the place just as well. Right now, though, I'm kind of sinking a ton of my time into Diablo 2 Resurrected. That's been sitting in my backlog for a while. And fun fact, also the first time I've ever played Diablo 2. And I'm doing my second run on Elden Ring, going for a mage build this time. Oh, Battle Mage build.
You'll be
I saw you guys
disappointed to
do
know.
like a.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you'll be disappointed to know that I quit Elden Ring. Couldn't do it, man.
What?
How much
Yeah,
do
I
you
know.
play?
I
Like
played
it. 2 hours,
no, I
Oh
played
no.
like 8 hours.
8 hours.
Oh,
Okay.
I probably have around 40 to 50 hours. It's not as much as I wanted to because that game is huge. That game is
Yeah.
absolutely massive. Yeah.
Surprisingly, I think it's probably the easiest Souls game to platinum if you have it on PlayStation.
I mean, it seems like more people are beating it than any other Soulsborne game. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I'm playing it right now. I'm getting my ass kicked, but like I've only put in, probably about 3-4 hours. So I'm nowhere. I'm not even in the echelon to even talk about the game really.
Oh no, but
Uh,
I feel it's a lot more approachable than other Souls games. A lot more approachable in terms of audience and
Yeah,
I want to say
I can agree with
difficulty.
that. I could,
Mm.
I could agree with that definitely. I can.
Well, just the whole ability just to be able to choose where you can go rather than like kind of dungeon crawling and having like one linear path just makes all the difference in the world. And that's the reason why I was so eager to get in this one. I was like, oh, if I die, I can go somewhere else. Like that's all they needed to tell me. And so
Yeah.
yeah, that's the reason why I picked up the game. And so I'm playing on my Xbox Series X, but that's not my main game. And we're going to talk more about games in a little bit. So we'll definitely want to hear about your games. Max, was there anything else that?
Oh, you know what? I took a jump on Hot Wheels Unleashed.
Oh
I took a
yes,
stab
great
at it.
game. Great game.
I
It
bought
is.
it too.
I'm not a big racing fan, but like I couldn't put
Me
this one
neither.
down. I couldn't put it down.
It's fun. It's real fun once you start getting into
Yeah.
it. I mean, I'd be playing it more, but it's just so much DLC and it all adds up. It's not cheap. And let me tell you,
No, it's
it's like buying another
it,
game. It's like
yeah, it's like $170 of DLC that they've put out so far, which is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah,
so,
that's about
I
it for
mean,
me.
That's about it. All right, F man, what's you been playing?
I've been playing a lot, so I'm at the last part of Stray. Like I just I don't know, my anxiety got to me. I decided not to finish the game.
Are you
So if you're not
serious?
familiar with Stray, it's the cat game where
The cat.
yeah, it's the cat game that everyone's talking about. Yeah, no, I played the game for about 2 hours. So about 5 hours into the game, and yeah, I was just like, I was like toward the end. They're like, we're gonna leave. Well, no spoilers, but we're gonna leave where we're currently at and go to the next spot, which is like at the very end of the game. And I was like, I'm kind of afraid to leave. Like I don't want to leave like my safe spot. So yeah, I really am bad anxiety when it comes to games. So like oftentimes, like rather than moving to the next location, I'll turn it off. I'll just turn it off. I'll be like, okay, it takes me a lot of like like a lot of confidence to build myself up to decide to pick up the controller and move myself to the next spot. So fun fact about me. But yeah, I'm at the last part of Stray. I finished Spider-Man Miles Morales this week. So that's great. So there's the new Game Plus that's now available. There's new powers that are available. Yeah, and that game was completely awesome. About finished it in about 8 hours. And then in addition to that, let's see. Elden Ring. I jumped back into Elden Ring, played that a little bit. Didn't play for long. Played for like maybe like 45 minutes to an hour. Not enough to really significantly do anything. Really just getting my bearings on like learn like trying to like get grasp like the parrying system like just all over again because I haven't played a Soulsborne in a very long time. So just like every time I jump in, like I just have to reacclimate myself to the controls because I don't play often, and yeah, and then just kind of explore the world, so I can just like, kind of know it like backwards and forwards. And lastly, the game that I've been playing a ton that we'll be talking about later, which I'm not going to get into very much right now, is MultiVersus.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes,
It
I've
looks
had a
so
lot
good.
of gaming time this week. I would say if you have not played it, I'll just leave it at this right now. Go play it.
Mhm.
It's worth it. It's fun. It's a good time. And I'll get into gameplay mechanics and all that good stuff later. But Justin, how about you, sir?
What have I been playing? So
Yeah.
I downloaded MultiVersus. I played it a few times. We'll get into that later. It is fun. Let me tell you, it is fun. I really enjoyed it. Um, Other games I have played, Pokemon Puzzle League, which is yeah, I found out the name of the game that it's based off of. It's Panel de Pon, that Japanese game. It's pretty much a skin of that. Tetris Attack was the one for the Super Nintendo, and then so yeah, we were talking about N64 games last week, finally. So I decided to give it a try. It's pretty addicting puzzle game. What can I say? It is fun. So I mean, if you just like Panel de Pon in general, I mean, I think you'll like Pokemon Puzzle League, and it has more modes on it. So why not? Let's give it a go. And then, of course, I've been playing Shredder's Revenge at any possible time I can. And then we can also play. What else did I play? I also played another beat 'em up called The Takeover. I got a little bit more into that. So that's what I've been playing. And otherwise, just been setting up my setup and everything. We're gonna do a community stream hopefully tomorrow. Program and alert people. Community stream tomorrow. We're gonna do Stray, and we're gonna pick up where I left off, which is like barely an hour into the game. So, so I mean, so that's what's been up for me. So otherwise, yeah, out with July, in with August. So August is looking to be a pretty good month for video games in general. So
No.
yeah. I think so.
Do tell you though, I think sorry, 2 days ago, Digimon Survive dropped, or was it
Oh yeah.
yesterday? Yeah, and I've been
Yeah.
looking to pick
It's
that one
today.
up as well.
It's today.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yesterday for you, today for us.
Yesterday for me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been looking to pick it up, and the reviews on it have been really good, and they've been saying stuff like, it's
Wait, hold
less
that
of a-
thought. We are
Oh.
going to talk Digimon Survive later today.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm getting
hold
ahead
on,
of myself.
no.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So, besides a few games that we have talking about in the gaming spotlight today, we're also going to talk GTA 6 and what has come out of there, and our thoughts on the future of that game and all that good stuff. So that's going to be our main discussion for today. But first, let's get into some Sony news, and I think there might be a mole over at Sony or something because they keep just leaking stuff, and apparently they may have a security breach according to this article here. Um, First, God of War, and then The Last of Us One remake. Looks like they were pretty much leaked. So, with that being said, just I mean, what's going to be next? Are they going to leak the date of when the PSVR 2 comes out, or are they going to leak just more games coming for the future? Michael, we'll go ahead and start with you. What do you think is going on at Sony that they may have a leak, and what's going on with this security breach?
I'm gonna be. I mean, it could be a marketing strategy, right? It could, like, 100% could be a marketing strategy, because what better way to get people hyped, interested, and draw their attention to a game, like, other than a juicy leak, right? So, it could just be, a simple marketing strategy to get people focused on what they want to be the next big thing, and to get it out there without revealing too much information. Like, instead of officially revealing it, they drop a little bit and then get people hooked onto it, and then once people get excited about it, then they give you a little bit more, then they give you a little bit more, stuff like that. So I mean, I don't want to say anything about Sony having security breaches and whatever because I don't know anything about Sony not having played it ever since like the PlayStation 1. I haven't owned
all
any
right, all
Sony
right. So
products.
all right. So I hate to interrupt you. So let's get into
No,
this.
no.
Remember the finest. You had Sony. You had a PS3. Remember that last security breach? What did we get out of it?
You're, you're
Two free games. Remember, it was like in 2010, I think
no.
it was.
No, you're asking me to remember 11 years ago. I could barely remember yesterday, and I'm
Oh,
drinking right
come
now.
on, man. Come
Sorry.
on.
Oh,
Come on. All right. Yeah,
there we go.
okay.
What happened?
All
Explain it
right.
to
So
us.
I forget the exact breach, but no. Oh, remember when like accounts got hacked?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Okay, what does that have to do with the games?
Well, we got 2 games out of it.
Which two?
Remember? I think it was a choice of 4. I chose Wipeout and Infamous. But you
I
had a
don't
choice
even
of 4
remember
games.
this.
Yeah, it was from like 2010. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd have to I'd have to do some research for someone. If someone's watching out there, you can fact check me. You could just Google Sony's last security breach from 2010. Yeah, I want to say it was 2010, 2011, somewhere around that era. But they gave us a choice of 4 games. I just remember choosing Wipeout and Infamous. So, I mean, if it keeps happening, and if users' accounts get hacked or breached or
No, this
whatever,
isn't the same thing though. This is someone leaking information to Jeff Grubb and someone else. Like this isn't someone hacking into the system. This is a person giving Jeff Grubb and I forget the other person's name, but inside information to what Sony and what their AAA studios are doing. So like by plugging the leak, you need to find the person that is that's releasing the information. I mean, there was one post on Reddit about um, someone essentially finding a laptop with 100 gigs of data from that had like information about Sony and what they're all planning, but that Reddit post has been recently deleted. So I mean, who knows to say like if that was real or if that was fake. But yeah, I don't know. This isn't a hack. This is someone releasing information, whether they got it from a laptop that they found or whether maybe they did hack, but we don't know that
yeah,
information.
maybe.
I mean, could have been
Yeah.
easily just a data mine, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely. Max, what are your thoughts on Sony leaking information or this mole leaking information that Sony has?
Well, I think that Michael really said it the best. Like, well, at the very least, we had similar thoughts. Like, what's more juicier than information that's presented to you as a leak? Like, at what point, does like this leaked information, if it's consistent enough, does it cease to be leaked information and just be information? And then, I don't know. It just kind of feels, yeah, just like a great marketing gimmick.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest with you, like that's immediately what I thought of when I looked at that. I was just like, yeah, oh, amazing. It's like, oh wow, like we're finding all of this like crazy information ahead of time and we should get all excited. And it's just like, yeah, okay, I am excited, but is this really the data mine? Is this really the secret information, the secret laptop? Like, who really knows? But at the end of the day, too, it's just like, well, does it really matter where it comes from? We're still all excited.
No, I
Yeah.
completely agree with you on one point that you said earlier was the consistency of it, and I think in terms of I don't know if you guys remember when Smash was releasing all its like DLC characters and stuff. There were leaks about like DLC characters coming out, like potential characters,
Oh
and
yeah.
there was one particular leaker that always leaked like the correct information or very very accurate, and that's where the consistency comes from, I reckon. So
Mhm.
I think what you said is really important because if it's the same hacker or same leaker that's doing it and releasing that information, then people are more inclined to believe it and get excited, like with reason, to get excited about these leaks.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
And I would say just like, and that's the thing about like rumors and leaks at this point. Like, there's so many people that are just like they're not even like they have no information. They have no background. They don't have anything. they're just taking shots in the dark. Like they're
Yeah.
like, hey,
There's a lot of
this
that
is
in the industry.
this is gonna happen, and it never comes to fruition. But for the one person that does hit like maybe like 1 point of what they said, every once in a while, like okay, then people start to take whatever they say like as an accredited source, and that's not always the case. So like even if like a person was guessing, which happens all the time, which this doesn't seem like, but if a person's guessing, that often happens. But Jeff Grubb is and they're the people that they follow are pretty good about their sources that they follow and everything and where they're getting their information. So,
All right. All right. Any final thoughts before we move on from this PlayStation leak? Nope. All right.
Nope.
So Sony, you know me and controllers. Sony and as a new controller, the Backbone One controller. So it looks like they've teamed up with Backbone. Backbone typically use it for like PC games like Xbox Game Pass on your phone. So I guess you could use this for like remote play instead of having to use those button overlays, which I don't really like when using touchscreens on playing games on phones. But yeah, just so pretty much right there, the Backbone. It's retailed at $99.99. You can get it from either Backbone themselves or Best Buy. It can fit anything as small as a 13 mini or 13 Pro Max. I'm very jealous because I have an Android. So, does this make you want to game out on the go? Finance, you have a PS4. Would you get this for your PS4 if it was compatible? At least.
Well, even more. I mean, I was playing PlayStation Plus Premium today, and I jumped into the streaming service because my son was like, I want to play video games, and I was like, okay, well let's see what games are on PlayStation Plus Premium, and so I started streaming, not uploaded, but I started playing Bolt. The I don't know if you guys remember that Pixar movie or 3D animated movie or whatever, the white
I know what
dog
you're talking about, yeah.
from a while back. So I started streaming that game for him, and just in thinking about it, like when he was playing that, it would have been like great if I could have just like handed him my phone and just handed him my phone with a backbone to it and just been like, here you, like here you go, like you can play right here, and then I could have still maybe played something on the TV or watch TV or something to that regard. Yeah, no, this is cool. Like this is like the Backbone's like one of the better peripherals that they have available. It's the exact same thing as the Xbox Backbone. It's just instead of A, B, X, Y, they replaced it with triangle, square, X, and circle. So cool.
You mean cross and circle?
No, it's X. I'm not. You want to have this fight? You want to have this fight?
It's a cross.
It's not a cross. It's an X.
No, it's an X. I'm with you on this one.
Go play any of those Harry Potter games from like early 2000s. They're like, press the cross button to cast Nintendo.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think Backbone should put out something for Android or anything? Because I'm personally an Android user, so I wouldn't have any use for this phone unless I steal my wife's phone and play PlayStation Remote off her phone.
I think it's only a matter of time. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's only a matter of time before they release it. It's too big of a market to ignore, and I feel like Android phones are getting so much better in terms of gaming ability and capacity as well. So it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, easily.
And the Android market, it's bigger, just in general than the iPhone market. So it's like it's kind of weird that it comes to iPhone first. So
yeah, and then compatibility with you can have emulators on Androids for like old GBA games or like I don't know
any game,
anything really.
Yeah, I got emulators on my phone. So yeah.
All right.
The only problem I have with this. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Keep going.
Yeah. The only problem I have with this, especially for like, let's say you're streaming a PlayStation 5 game. One of the biggest selling markets for the PlayStation 5 was the haptic feedback controller, which in Canada that is priced at $89.99, which I think that means $79.99 for you guys in the States.
For the controller, we pay $669. Or wait,
Oh, that
yeah,
hurts.
69.
Yeah,
That hurts.
69.
Anyway,
Yeah, 69.
I
a
would
lot of
make
money.
that, yeah, I'd make that personally cheaper, because if you do end up, like, let's say you're streaming, I don't know, a PlayStation 5 game, if it's capable, like you're missing out on the haptic feedbacks, which is like a big selling point. But that being said, there are a lot more PlayStation 4 games than PlayStation 5 games that utilize the haptic feedback. So it appears that my argument has hit an impress.
All right, definitely. We'll talk controllers a little bit more later on. PS5 introduces a new beta for 1440p support, game lists, and more. So we'll go through what the beta is. 1440p HDMI video out, which supports PC monitors and TVs. Pretty much, if your game playing supports 1440 rendering, you can experience native 14p output on your display. I don't want to read too much into that. Game lists, you can pretty much make folders now, which is very convenient. I think a lot of people have been wanting that for a while. Compare 3D audio and stereo audio. Easier access to in-progress activities. New social features include request, share screen, joinable game notification. You can view new friends' profiles, send stickers and voice messages in-game base, and those are some of the quality life changes that is coming with this beta, and I can't wait till it's actually live. So, Max, what are your thoughts on this new beta for the PS5?
Oh, it's supremely convenient, like you
Mm-hmm.
said. Like, it really gives off almost like like an what is it, MSN like page feel to it, or like a social media page feel to it, where it's
Oh,
just like, here's my like top 10 favorite music, here's this genre, here's this genre, except it's with games. And that ability to kind of just hop in with friends, to just uh, you know I think one of the features was to it's easier to kind of just like stop what you're doing, and hop into a different game or something like that, or return to kind of where you are, which I think the PlayStation 5 kind of has some of that already, just when you kind of like exit something. But it looked, yeah, I don't know, easier, convenience. I'm up for it. Easy.
yeah, definitely more convenient. Finest.
Yeah, no, every console generation, it just kind of confuses me in terms of UI. It's just like they 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 create a whole new UI for every generation. To go with the new console, and it always just baffles me that like every generation they like kind of start from scratch, like they erase everything. They're like, hey, your folders are gone, your your Adobe Digital's gone, like you can't do this, you can't do this. And then we spend 7 years in a generation where they're consistently like just updating these things very slowly and providing us like features that we already had with the previous generation. Yeah, just it bothers me quite a bit actually. So the fact that we have folders, yay, like I'm happy that it's finally happening. These folders are a little bit weird because they're not accessible like on like directly like immediately on your screen. I don't even have a PS5, but I was looking at YouTube videos and it wasn't accessible like directly like it was from the PS4. Like my PS4, I have folders like immediately you go in and then everything's in a folder, like just like one folder: RPGs, fighting games, blah blah blah, like Naughty Dog, Square Enix games, da da da, so forth. But on the PS5, you had to go all the way to the right in order to access your folders, and
Mm-hmm.
then it opens your folder list. And so that's already annoying to me. I'm glad this is in beta right now. I'm hoping that in beta, these are things that are pointed out to like PlayStation and it is fixed. It will fixed in my opinion, because I don't think it should be that way. I was already aggravated and I wasn't even using the PlayStation 5. I was just watching. So yeah, I'm happy with the changes. 1440p is big. So for anyone playing with the PS5 on a monitor, I mean, or a PlayStation or not, a television screen that supports it, it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
The sound options are always great. yeah, so I'm happy that I'm seeing these updates. It's just like we're 2 years in. I wish these updates
Yeah.
would just come a little bit quicker, especially since some of these are maybe it's not the exact same, but we already had them last generation and the generation before.
Yeah, if Nintendo can figure it out with the Switch and making folders,
I was
why not
just
the
about to say that.
PS5?
I was
But
just
Yeah.
about to say that. You're like, you're complaining about how it's slow, and
Yeah.
like, we haven't got an update on the Switch. You can't even switch our theme yet on the Switch.
but we're talking about the Switch. I won't even get into the Switch because I will take
Mm.
over this episode for the next hour talking about how horrible the Switch is. But
No, the Switch is great.
no,
It's just
it's
the
not.
interface. The customization is so terrible.
All
The
right.
interface is half the Switch.
All right, Michael.
That's
What are your
literally
thoughts?
half what you do.
Michael, what are your thoughts on PS5 and in this beta with the quality of life features?
I mean, it's definitely going in like a step in the right direction. I think there's a lot of improvement. You guys basically covered everything I wanted to say anyway. There's room for improvement, but we appreciate the steps that the developers are taking to make our life easier and to increase accessibility, I guess. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I think it's a step in the right direction.
I have a question for all of you, actually, real quickly. How many
Yeah.
of you actually use the share game on the PlayStation 4?
I don't own a
I
PlayStation,
used
so
it once.
You used it one
or
Never.
twice.
time?
Once or
Never?
twice.
Man, like such a underutilized feature. Like it's just like you think that would be like a top tier feature. Like it's like, oh, I can share my game with my friends and they can play the game. Just nobody used it. Very I actually
Yeah.
find it a little bit weird. I
Yeah.
think
I mean,
I
they
think they
really
should make
pumped
it
it up.
easier.
They really
Yeah.
pumped it up, like with the PS4 coming out. Like, oh, you can share your game, and I literally can count on my fingers how many times I ever used it. Either I
Mhm.
shared or someone shared with me.
Yeah. I've done it one
Not,
time. Yeah.
yeah, not very often. I think one time during Destiny, and then just some other time. I forget the other time, but yeah, just yeah, it's very underutilized. I mean, I don't know how we'd be able to get that up and going, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, just probably play a game that someone else doesn't own or something. That'd be the only thing I can think of. All right, we're gonna talk a little bit of PSVR 2 talk. The launch is in full swing, and just talk about a early look at some of the user experience. We'll just go through them very quickly here. The see-through view. We also got broadcast yourself while playing, customized play area, VR mode, and cinematic mode also. So, are you guys looking forward to VR 2? I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, I wasn't really into the VR one. Finance, you're big into the VR 2. Based on what you've been seeing so far, what are you thinking of the PSVR 2 based on this early look that we got?
I mean, this thing's a beast. Honestly, just like I mean, in terms of the UI, like these are all things that are available on the Oculus Quest. So we're not seeing anything new here in terms of like, oh, like you can draw out the area that you're going to be using in order for your space, as we see on the screen right now. If you once you build that grid, it puts up a wall. Like if your controller or you exit that area, it's gonna let you know. So like none of that is new. Like so that's all fine, but I'm happy to see that these features are in it. But in terms of like gameplay, like the Oculus Quest 2, you can use I forget what it's called, it's air or something to connect to your PC in order to enhance the graphics and get better gameplay and things like that. You don't have to connect a cord. I'm hoping that PlayStation does something similar like that, but PlayStation is saying you're gonna have to connect possibly one cord to the PlayStation 5. And I think along with that and the ability to really just utilize the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5's power and that SSD in your games is going to make it monstrous. It's going to make such a wonderful PlayStation VR 2 experience. I think a lot of people had a bad experience with the original PlayStation VR, or they had just not the greatest experience with other VRs like Google VR, Cardboard, and the Samsung VR and all these other experiences. And a lot of people ruled it out. I think that's one of the reasons why we haven't seen it like really come to the mainstream and hit like as much. I think a lot of people tried it, at least the people that were mainly interested, and it didn't hit the way people thought. Like, so they're just kind of ruled it out, and they're like, oh, VR is not for me. But I think in this next generation of VR, especially like I know Meta is working on another VR console right now, and then that'll come. I'm pretty sure shortly after the PlayStation VR 2, even though the PlayStation VR 2 doesn't have an announcement date as of yet. I think this next generation of VR is going to be kind of monstrous, and I think it's going to be really inclined to your more casual and your more hardcore player. The only thing I'm really worried about at this point is the price point. But super excited for this. As you can see on screen, new controllers, new headset, PlayStation VR in terms of just the overall consumer. I think was a great headset for beginning VR, but there's the PlayStation VR is just a beast in comparison. It's like 15 times more powerful than the PlayStation original VR. So you don't have to worry about motion sickness and things like that. But I'm going to shut up because, yeah, I'm sure you guys have something to say about it too. So.
Michael,
I have like little to no experience with VR. I always say that right now. I have little to no experience with VR right now. I've been actually looking to buy a headset as well. Once I get a new computer built and everything, I was thinking about just wanting to give VR an honest go, because I don't know, it's always interested me. I haven't been one of those people to rule it out just because I can't get my hands on one. It's always been interesting to me, and there's a few games like Half-Life Alyx that look really, really good on it, and I just really, really want to try it out. Yeah.
What about you, Max? Are you a big VR believer, or?
You know what? I'm one of those people that definitely saw the amount of VR getting pumped out and thought it was a gimmick, which is a shame because I definitely think in hindsight I've missed out on some pretty interesting experiences. Just to name a few that come off the top of my head, like Resident Evil 7. That looked like it was great in VR. And Star Wars Squadrons. I love my air combat. And for a while there, when that game came out, a lot of people were showing pictures of their like VR battle stations where they'd be in their gaming chairs, and they would like have little attachments for their like their hand controllers, and then they put their headset on, and then they would connect it to like some kind of like, I don't know, Rebel Alliance helmet or something, and it was really cool. And that kind of made me want to hop into it, but it always didn't really seem like there was enough out there for me to like want to play and like purchase a VR headset. For this this newer one, the biggest thing that I'm looking at too, maybe it says it in the description. I don't think I saw it, but it'd be interesting if they incorporate more haptics. I want to see more haptics. I want them in the head, the visor.
Well, the PlayStation VR 2 is going to be the first headset to have haptics in it.
It is,
so
right?
yeah. So you will be able to experience that only in the PlayStation VR 2 at this point. So
that's amazing.
You could look,
yeah.
So, more headaches, more facial headaches.
I think the game that I want to try the most out, and once I get my hands on VR, is actually Elite Dangerous. Do you guys know about the game?
A little bit.
Yeah, you know about it, but never played it. Yeah,
it's a spaceship flight simulator, to put it really, really simply. But it just feels like it's one of those games where when you have a VR and when you have the voice control, when you have voice attack installed as well, it seems very, very immersive, and I really want to, like, every time I think about it, it makes me so emotional, and I want to get a VR.
No, I'm right there with you guys. Like, you guys are totally speaking my language. Like, in terms of what you're saying, Michael, like, I'm right there with you, but I'm like, I've been a No Man's Sky fan for a very long time, and I've experienced that in VR. I can only imagine it. They've already announced it for PlayStation VR 2. I can't wait to see the leaps and bounds with the new controls and just the power of the PlayStation 5, how that does. I'm super excited about that. Max, I'm right there with you. I played Squadrons in VR. on my PlayStation VR. It's already excellent on VR. It's already excellent just on your console. That game is a must play in VR. Like, if you can go to a friend's house, if you want to come over to the States, just a little bit down the way, like a quick 3-hour flight, I'm here.
I'm
But that
jealous.
game, that game is excellent. And then PlayStation, or not PlayStation, Resident Evil. Resident Evil was actually the first. I felt like the first game in VR. Like there was like games in VR. There was like Moss, and there was Eagle Flight. There was a couple other things, but I think VR in a very good sense was a gimmick. There was like Res in VR and stuff like that. I think it was a gimmick for the most part. People were putting out like a very bite-sized experiences, but none of them were like full-fledged games. And I think that's where, like, Michael, when you mentioned Half-Life Alex, once again, like, besides Resident Evil, Half-Life Alex was like a very great example of one of the few really like things you can consider a game on VR. And I hope on date when PlayStation VR 2 comes out, that Half-Life Alex is brought to the PlayStation VR 2. And in the same respect, I hope Squadrons and I hope all these other games that have previously come out on PlayStation VR are compatible for PlayStation VR 2. Because the thing is, it might not be. Just because we're working with whole different system, whole different control schemes. People basically have to re-release their game on PlayStation VR 2 in order for it to be compatible with, so they would have to do extra work, and very much I can see them charging in order for them to basically bring their games back to the same essentially ecosystem. But nevertheless, looking forward to all those games and very much more. I will probably be like a day one adopter for the PlayStation VR 2. So
is it going to be
I think
compatible?
VR games will just get. Oh, sorry. No,
I
you go,
was going to ask, is it going to be compatible with PS4, or you think you'll have a PS5 by the time it comes out?
I don't think it's going to be compatible with the PlayStation 4 now.
Okay.
So I think, if you have a PS5, that's the only way to play. Just because the PlayStation 5 is there to push the power like into the VR. It's going to be, I don't have the specs and everything right now, like in front of me, but it's just like the PlayStation VR itself is going to be extremely powerful. So running on a PS4 really wouldn't make sense. So.
All right, sounds good. I mean, me, just before we move on, I mean, if I see VR is good enough, for me to really dip into, I'll dip into it. I mean, I've tried it, at Finest's house with the original VR. It was all right, but prior experiences, have not been the greatest. That year we went to E3. What was it? E3. That fake E3 that was like across the street or whatever, that HTC garbage. I mean, that
They
was
don't do
bad.
that
And
anymore. Yeah.
yeah, that, and then that Samsung where I was on the ride at in Southern California at a theme park called Six Flags Magic Mountain. They had VR on Revolution, I think it was. It was okay, not great. It's something I could have just watched on TV. I mean, that's just me. So, all right. Well, moving on a little bit more. PlayStation news. We are going to look into PlayStation Plus games for the month of August. We'll start with the base PlayStation Plus Essential, and looks like they're coming out with some bangers here. Looks like we're getting some Yakuza Like a Dragon for the PS5 and PS4. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 for the PS5 and PS4. If you haven't played those yet, well, what are you doing? Those are some good games. And then Little Nightmares for the PS4. If you have the PS5, you can play it via backward compatibility. I'm looking forward. I already have Tony Hawk's Pro Skaters 1 and 2. Yakuza, I haven't really dipped into that too much. I will definitely put that in my library as soon as it becomes available. Max, any of these games you're looking forward to for PlayStation Plus month?
Oh, it's gonna be a good month.
Hell yeah.
So I'm so happy I waited on Tony Hawk. I'm so happy because now it's free. Now it's free.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah,
Kind of.
kind of. Yeah.
With your monthly subscription to PlayStation Essentials. But no, that's going to be great. I haven't played Little Nightmares, though I think the art style and some of the gameplay that I have seen is pretty amazing. Creepy little platformer with some nightmarish creatures, much in the title. And then Yakuza Like a Dragon. Haven't played it. Fan of the Yakuza series, mostly because of my younger brother. He's huge into Yakuza. Huge. I will say, though, if Justin, if you haven't seen this game at all, this is a JRPG with turn-based combat, as far as I know. Unlike the first 6 Yakuza games, which are kind of just RPG beat 'em ups with a lot of mini games. So,
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye out for that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Michael, any of these games that some people should be excited for the month of August for PlayStation Plus?
Yeah, definitely. So me personally, I'm not a huge fan of like sports games, if you know what I mean. So I don't really play like FIFA, Madden, Tony Hawk, but I understand why people like these sort of games. But Little Nightmares is such a beautiful game. Like it's if you haven't played it yet, you're really missing out. It's a beautiful game with a surprising twist at the end. So I won't spoil anything. So it is a really good game worth playing. Yeah, definitely that one on my list.
Wait, Michael, I'm a little confused. Did you just put Tony Hawk in the same category with Madden and FIFA?
I mean, I consider them as sports games, right?
Well, it is a type of sport.
I'm sorry if I've offended anyone.
I get where he's going with it. I mean,
I know where he's going. I'm just I don't know if I can totally align.
Okay,
with
let
that.
me rephrase that. Like what was that Ubisoft put out like a snowboarding game a couple of years
Steep?
ago.
Oh, it was
Steep,
Steve. Yeah.
that's the one. Yeah.
Steve,
Yeah.
So it's games like that, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh my
Yeah.
lord.
No need to apologize. I'm
Yeah.
here to give you a hard time. That's my job. That's the only
But,
reason I'm on this podcast.
Seeing some of these clips right now on the screen for Yakuza, it's real. Some of it is really, really funny in there. I think they've made it really, really nice, and the bits they've done in the game are just really, really funny, really good. Yeah. I was just referring to the one where like 3 men are in diapers. So that was really cool. Yeah.
All right, and then who else? Finance. You excited for any of these games for PlayStation Plus? Well, I know you got the bigger tiers. We'll talk about those next.
Yeah, no, I mean, I already have what's it called? Tony Hawk. So played that, had a great time. Yeah, and in terms of Yakuza, like I'm super stoked for this. Like I missed it on the Xbox Series X when it came out. Like all the game, several of the games came out for the Xbox Series X. So I'm looking forward to hopping into a lot of these, if not all of them, if possible, on the PlayStation Premium tier. So very excited. It's a kind of a banger of a month. And I mean, just thinking about like the PlayStation Plus tier, premium tier, or just PlayStation Plus, like the last 2 months, it's really been just like on fire. And I'm kind of excited to see what they come up with the rest of the year. Like if this is any indication of what the rest of the year is going to look like, this is great. Yeah, super happy. How about you, J-Man?
Yes, I do want to give Little Nightmares a shot, definitely with my subscription, and I already have Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, so I won't be downloading that. But Yakuza, I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about it, so I definitely want to give that a go. And speaking of Yakuza, if you have the extra or premium tiers, you're getting 7 more games for it. Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, Yakuza 0, Yakuza 3 Remastered, Yakuza 4, Yakuza 2, Yakuza, and Yakuza 5. I just went in a circle there. So, talking more Yakuza. So, if you haven't played Yakuza, now's the time to definitely upgrade your PlayStation Plus to either extra or premium tier. Max, what are your thoughts on? Should people get Yakuza or what?
That's a lot of 6
Yeah.
games. Well, actually 7 games.
Seven
Actually
games. Yeah,
eight games.
Well, 8 games
8
if you
games.
include the base. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
The question now is just how much time do you have?
Not enough.
That's
Never
No,
enough.
and not
no.
enough. That's
No.
so true.
hmm But no, I definitely recommend people try them out for sure. Yakuza 0 is amazing. Yakuza Kiwami 2. Well, that one actually haven't yet to play, but man, they're a great series. Like I can't sing their praises enough from what I've seen. They're hilarious. They're really well written. They're probably not a great portrayal of actual Yakuza, but I still find it pretty entertaining.
I completely disagree with that. I don't know. I've never been to Japan, but every time I imagine Yakuza, this is what I imagine with them beating each other up on the streets with giant sharks and just in hilarious fashion.
Well, if
But,
you ever go, we'll
It's
have
very
a
reminiscent of,
Finest, our
Saint
Japanese
Row.
correspondent. Finest, tell us about the Yakuza.
I actually, my plan is to go to Japan next year. So,
Nice.
Oh, me too. I've never been as well. I want
Michael,
to go.
I've never been.
Yeah.
we may have to talk. Okay.
Yeah, we made.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I in terms of Like a Dragon, that game I've just heard like turn like because like when I remember when Yakuza Like a Dragon was ready to come out and people were just like, oh, like it's like they're doing a turn-based system, they're changing the combat rather than like having like that action fighting system, whatever.
A beat 'em up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people were just like very disheartened by it, but then like a Dragon turned to everyone, critics and fans alike. And I just remember just like watching the spectrum and just the internet go from like hate to love, and everyone was just like a Dragon is now my favorite Yakuza game. So that made me want to play Yakuza games. Like I'm just like, oh well, like I miss Kiwami, I miss Zero, I missed all these other I missed all these other Yakuza games, but I will at least want to play Like a Dragon. And you know, if I enjoy that enough, I'm happy to go back and play the rest of them. Yeah.
I think what really opened people's eyes too with that is it's not the combat that people care about in Yakuza. It's the world, it's how it's written, it's the story, it's the characters. Like I think people were just getting too hung up on like one actually very small and honestly insignificant piece of I think Yakuza as a whole. So yeah,
you're talking about gamers. Gamers don't do that.
So excuse me. All right,
I mean,
write
there's
that down for future reference. Gamers don't do that.
I mean, there's a history of. I mean, there's a history of games changing up their formula and people liking and disliking. I think the biggest one in recent history is probably Monster Hunter, and how they switched from that sort of zone-based combat, the loading screens and stuff to the open world. It was, having been a long-time Monster Hunter fan myself, it was a really dividing for veterans, especially, and only to veterans. I reckon newcomers, they got fancy graphics and a new sort of more smoother play. A more smoother game to play with, but a lot of veterans didn't like the Switch, and I think that's definitely an example of.
Are you talking about Monster Hunter World and specifically? Because I feel like I didn't see a lot of reluctancy like from like people that were Monster Hunter like diehards. Like I didn't see a lot of reluctancy from them when they jumped onto Monster Hunter World.
I think when the game first launched, everyone felt that it was a breath of fresh air, but once things settled down, a lot of the longtime players started missing some of the more complex and I would say stubborn mechanics of the game. Because that's what I believe. I can't begin to speak for every single Monster Hunter fan out there, and if there are, I apologize.
Of course you can. You're on the Game Watch podcast.
I feel like those mechanics, those stubborn mechanics, the little flex after you drink a potion, it's what made Monster Hunter, and they sort of just taken that away and made it more streamlined.
That's because drinking a potion was a pain in the ass. It took forever. I would hate when I,
No,
when
no,
I
no.
get
One of my
spotted.
biggest gripes is so they moved the flex after drinking. Okay, I could go on, but I
I
want to say
know,
this one
I
thing.
know.
I'll say this one thing. They moved the flex from the drinking potion to stun recovery animation, and it's like, why would they do that? They move something that you can control onto something that you can't control, like recovering from
Yeah.
a stun. You can't control from when you get stunned, right? So it's like, why put like something you can control when you drink a potion, and when you do that flex, you're taking it into consideration when you drink the potion into something that you can't control, like recovering from a stun. Anyway, I rant.
And I still hear
Alright,
people shaking their fists because there's no paintballs anymore.
yeah, no paintballs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
All
Now it's
right.
a stupid bug that guides you everywhere.
I like the bug. I like the I forget what class that's called, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears. Let's go to Nintendo for a bit. All right. So it looks like they're having a multiplayer sale with the games digitally up to 80%. Looks like this is only in North America. We're just gonna go through some of these games that I feel that are worth it.
Sorry, Michael.
Why?
North
I
America.
can always change
only.
my region. It's okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's region free, right? All right.
Yeah, it's region free.
That's fair.
The Capcom beat 'em up bundle was only $10. I mean, that was definitely a good one. Doom Eternal from $59 to $15. That
Nice.
that's a good one. The Hot Wheels Unleashed Ultimate Sun Edition from $90 to only $35.99. So, that's pretty good. Age of Calamity for $41. Let's see, Monster Hunter Rise is 59. NBA
All these
2K22
US
15.
prices.
Yeah, these are all U.S. prices, of course. Let's see, I'm just going through like some of the big ones here. Streets of Rage 4 only $12. Sonic Mania is only $10. Super Meat Boy is $5.99. Tetris Effect Connected only $23.99. Oh, Tony Hawk Pro Skaters 1 and 2. If you don't want to play it on PlayStation, you can play it on the Switch, only $20. Any of these games from this list that I read off, any of these games someone should jump on that I may have missed? Max,
Oh,
Finance, anyone?
No, that's true.
yeah, there's Persona 4 Area Ultimax.
yeah.
Oh yes, the fighting one. Yeah.
Yeah,
1-2
I'm
Switch
sorry.
is finally on sale.
There you
Yeah,
go.
so
1-2
yeah,
Switch.
so is Super Mario Party, and that's another first party Nintendo game. So yeah, jump on those.
Dia-
But
Diablo Resurrected. I know Max said he's playing that earlier.
Mhm.
That which is Diablo is a must play. Yeah, Jackbox Party Pack 8. I mean, come on now. Amazing. Jackbox is like the must have game. There's a reason why there's 8 of them. Okay. Wonderful game. And I think that's it. I think that's all of these are really actually pretty great games. I'm not gonna lie. This, like, looking through this list is pretty substantial. So
I don't talk sales much on this show, but I mean, I figured this was actually a pretty big list. I figured, just share it for our audience. Just a little bit of information. It's going on through August the 7th at 11:59.
you said Hot Wheels, right?
Yeah, Hot Wheels, the
Yeah.
Ultimate Stun Edition. That's $90
So
on there.
chat, calm down, okay? You guys need to calm down. You guys are just throwing up Hot Wheels. We already said Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels. Right. Hot Wheels lead the way. Yeah. Yeah, I said Hot Wheels. Yeah, so, I mean, it's going on through August 7th. So if you guys want to jump on that, definitely check it out. We'll drop a link in the show notes for those of you that are interested. All right, moving on to a little bit more controller talk. Looks like if you have a NES, SNES, N64, or Genesis controller that is compatible with Switch Online, you can now use it on Steam. And Steam took so long to do this because I could already use it on RetroArch or RetroArch, but yes, you can use a Nintendo button layout now for your Steam settings if you want to play an old school game like, say, Mega Man, for instance, and you want to use an NES controller. I don't know why you would, but it does have a nice D-pad. But I mean, yeah, you can use you can use the NES controller to play some 8-bit retro-inspired games. So just using that as an example.
I'm gonna say, like, I don't know who's gonna want to use this. So I went over to my cousin's house the other day, and they wanted to play Smash Brothers. Not, of course, we're not playing on Steam, but they're just like they busted out like the Joy Cons for each of us, and then like gave us like each our own like little half of our Joy Con or whatever. Dude, my hands were hurting so bad like after hour one. Like I don't even have big hands, and I'm playing on this thing. I'm like, just give me a pro controller, please. Like it was so pain. My hands were cramping so bad. I know I'm an old man, but man, did that it just
Oh, no.
sucked. So
Joy-Cons
I don't
are
I
know
the
who.
worst.
completely agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
The-
I don't know
The
who's gonna
worst.
go on Steam and like.
Well, the only controllers I can see anyone using is the Super Nintendo controller and the Genesis controller, either the 3 button or 6. But the NES, I just feel doesn't have enough buttons, and then the N64 controller, who would use that for anything? That is like the second worst controller ever. Just like that. The joystick hurts your hand. Just you needed
Well,
three hands to hold the thing. Let's be real.
you need it for those N64 games. It's just
I
how it
guess.
goes.
I guess. Well, luckily, I lucked out because when I played Pokemon Puzzle League, I did not need that controller. Luckily, it only required the A and B button, none of those C buttons. So I lucked out. So I didn't need need all that. I was
Nice.
very happy. So
I'm happy for you.
thank you, thank you.
I'm happy you didn't burn a hole through your hand.
Yeah, that. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not playing Mario Party with the N64 controller ever again. All right. Last bit of Nintendo news. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Wave 2 of the DLC is finally out, and they are coming out with 8 new courses. Gonna just read through them really quickly as Finance pulls up the video here. A new course, Sky High Sunday. I think it's gonna be ported to Mario Kart 2 or later on. So that's the first one. Calamari Desert from the N64 game. Mario Circuit 3, excuse me, for the SNES. Mushroom Gorge from the Wii. Sydney Sprint from Tour. Waluigi Pinball from the DS. That's actually a really good one. Snowland GBA and New York Minute from Tour. Michael, you're a big Nintendo guy. You said you don't like racing much. Do you play Mario Kart out of curiosity?
It's like one of the only racing games I play. It's
Okay.
one of the only racing games I play. I really enjoyed Mario Kart. I think the one I played the most was probably on the Wii, and then followed by the one on the DS. Yeah. So
All right.
all these tracks and that are coming out with these DLCs is really nostalgic for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
definitely. I
Mushroom
mean,
Gorge.
yeah. Mushroom Gorge was a good one also. Yeah, Waluigi Pinball for me. That was a good one. And Mario Circuit 3 from the SNES. That was one of the better SNES courses. Finest, you remember any of these courses?
Yeah. No, of course I remember some of them. I mean, don't ask me which ones, but looking at the looking at the videos, I definitely remember some of these courses. Yeah, but what's up with that Sky High Sunday? What Nintendo coming up with new tracks and surprising us? I
Yeah.
think I think that's a jerk move and makes me hate Nintendo that much more.
Are you serious?
No, I'm actually joking, but
Oh.
sure. Let's pretend I am.
Oh yeah. Max, looking forward to any of these new tracks from the next wave of Mario Kart.
Well, I don't actually play Mario Kart unless I'm like at a buddy's house. I don't own it myself. And much like Finus, I also kind of recognize a lot of these just looking at them, but I couldn't tell you all the names of them. But I do kind of have a question for you, Mario Kart kind of veterans. Speaking as somebody who didn't necessarily grow up with Nintendo, why do we never see like do we have are there double dash courses or is that just not a thing?
Oh,
Or is
That
this
might
like
be in
a
the lineup. I don't know
yeah,
though.
yeah. No, none of them were from Double Dash. I mean, I was actually thinking about that the other day because that's actually one of my top three
Yeah.
favorite Mario Kart games is Double Dash. Double Dash was so much fun.
yeah,
But yeah, I hardly see any of these courses. But just don't forget, they've only released 16 of them so far. We
fair
have
enough.
another 32 to go. So hopefully we see something from that GameCube game. And there were some pretty good courses.
Yeah,
Um,
I guarantee you will. Like, just look at the lineup. Like, you're gonna
yeah,
see
Mhm.
something from Double Dash. Like,
That's fair.
eventually. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, so that's good. I mean, I'm getting my money's worth from my Nintendo Online subscription by downloading these. It will be available on August 4th, so stay tuned for that, people. For you Mario Kart fans out there, and that will do it for Nintendo news as we shift gears to Xbox, and we'll first talk about how Xbox is speeding up the boot times on the console. Not that it's already it processes 5 seconds faster now on the Series X than it did, the Xbox One, I suppose. Um, Finance, have you noticed any difference in that? You own an Xbox Series X?
Well, I think this article is a little misleading in
Mm-hmm.
addition to what like Xbox like kind of like putting the spin on this. So I mean it's not necessarily booting up like 5 seconds faster. It's they reduce the time on the startup. Like just like the animations and everything, like they're just like kind of like, oh, we can trim this. And they just like made it a little bit shorter. So have I noticed a difference? No, because I'm not sitting there staring at my screen like when it's starting up. Like I
Timer
literally
starts now.
yeah, I pressed the button and it's like literally like starting up, and like during that time like I turned off the feature where auto HD like the it auto shifts to my HDMI that I wanted to. Because sometimes I just turn on the console, like knowing I'm gonna play, and I'm like still watching a movie or doing whatever I'm doing. And then I know I'm gonna go to it like in 5 minutes. I'm never like that eager, where like Max, you just said like, oh, I gotta press the stopwatch now and get to my game. No, I'm never that person. So I have not noticed a difference, and I probably never will, but well, I can't now because they changed it. But yeah, I mean, at this point, like if you want to make it faster, just get rid of the intro altogether. Just do away with it and just have me go straight to my game.
Yeah, they could possibly do that. I mean, you never know. I mean, I understand load times are necessary, but I mean, I think they've gotten way better since the era of the PS1. I mean, let's be real. I mean, those were brutal. Talk about some load time. All right. With that being said, Halo Infinite campaign co-op won't include online matchmaking. Is this a is this a step in the right direction for their flagship game, or is this just something putting it? It's just another nail in the coffin for what could have been a great game. Um,
Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept doing the wrong thing for Halo Infinite from the beginning. Launching with no co-op was just why even bother launching the game? um, so I don't know. I think a big part of Halo has always been the co-op campaign. I think like a huge part of it, because a lot of my mates, they always wanted to try doing the Master Chief Collection on Legendary and stuff like that. So it's always better with a friend. But getting rid of online matchmaking and not launching with online matchmaking is definitely a mistake, to put it lightly.
Yep, totally
yeah.
agree. Yeah. I'm just gonna jump in right here. Also, like, yeah, like, man, like I dropped campaign so quickly just because it's so much better just playing with a friend. Yeah, I don't know. I understand the game wasn't ready. They delayed the game by a year, and then they only released the game to a further like state. They released the game, but it still wasn't ready. As much as they wanted to be ready, I think them delaying the year, them delaying it a year was really like making sure that like the game released in a state where it wasn't going to damage the Halo franchise, but them delaying it a year and then have them release it as a live service game and not having it like content that's not readily available and consistent and coming out on a schedule. content that's not there, like the Forge mode isn't there, co-op isn't there, I think hurt the franchise just as much. And now people are really I just really don't see people really going back to play like co-op. I really don't see people like if they add a new map, they've only added one new map since its release. Like I don't see people going back for that one new map. I don't see people going back for anything really that Halo has to offer. Yeah, it's gonna do a small surge. We might see a couple, thousand people like jump back in, but nothing significant to where it's gonna be really treated as of a live service game. I'm disappointed, just like in Halo with Halo at this point. Like, and yeah, I probably won't be jumping back in anytime soon.
No, me
Yeah,
neither.
I know for me, it's just, I mean, this is one of the reasons why they launched the Xbox Series X and S, when they did, just it's clear that, they weren't ready, and, Sony, did the same thing launching the PS5 to, keep up with them. I mean, this game right here is just further proof that both these consoles could have been delayed in the 2021, in my opinion. But I
Mhm.
mean, we got what we got now, so with that being said, we just got to roll with the punches. Max, what are your thoughts on this?
Every time we talk about contemporary Halo, it breaks my heart. It really does. Like it just when I think back, like a lot of people, like Halo was like everything at the time. Like I remember my first job. My first paycheck was for an Xbox 360 and Halo 3. That was the very first purchase with my very first paycheck, and I will never forget that. And now when I think about like would I ever play, I don't know, Halo's like I don't know, four onwards. There's no way. Like I just it's totally gone from me. And I don't know, like, and the biggest question for like this article too is just like, it's just why do we not have like such a simple thing, matchmaking co-op for campaign? Like, it just, I don't know. It just feels wrong.
Yeah,
It feels
totally.
sad. Like,
Especially from such a big company as well. Like, it
and
should
you
be
know what,
day one.
Finus, you were saying they won't go back. Well, I'll tell you, they will go back. They'll go back to all the previous games. They'll relive the glory days.
But
of all
they've
the
already
other.
done that, like with the Master Chief Collection.
Well, I
Um,
mean, players. They'll
oh,
keep playing
okay,
those games.
okay.
Yeah, the players.
I just totally agree with you. And I don't know. I really don't have really much more to say about this, but
Mhm.
I am hurt by what's going on, and you would think that after like it's been 7 years of development. Like the game took, like I believe the game took 5 years originally from the last Halo. My math could
Something
be
like
off.
that.
I'm not exactly sure. I don't have the stats in front of me, but let's just say hypothetically, it's been about 5 years. It's been at least 5 years from the time that last Halo to the newest Halo released, and then we're looking from release up until now. It's been at least 7 years. I can say that much. And just the to not be in a place to where this game should be, like it's kind of just mind boggling. It's I don't know. I'll Yeah, just a little devastating, but
Yeah.
I'll.
I mean, yeah, definitely. Well, despite the rocky start with this game, rocky start. I mean, it's been out over a year now, but I mean, despite you know, the, what's been going on with it, the Xbox Series X and S remain Xbox fastest selling console ever, and I don't know, maybe more people are playing video games at an all time high. I guess. I mean, yeah. So, what are you guys' thoughts? I mean, despite the Xbox not hardly having any, first party games, it being its fastest selling console in Xbox history. Michael, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think the fact that Xbox doesn't have a lot of first-party games actually helps it in terms of being more approachable than other people. I think a lot of people actually hate Sony for what they're doing with the exclusivity stuff,
Mm.
and like they hate Sony even more because all this exclusive stuff is coming to PC as well now. I think in August, Spider-Man is releasing on Steam as well, and there was a whole thing about, was it Horizon or what was that zombie game? Days Gone,
Yeah, Days
which
Gone.
also
Days
came
Yep.
to
Gone,
Steam.
yeah.
Yeah, and people were just mad about it, and now God of War is coming to Steam, and I'm not worried about not having a PS5 to play the new Ragnarok because I know after like a year probably it's gonna come to Steam anyway. So I'll just play it then and probably play it for cheaper as well. So yeah,
I
so
don't know
I
about
think
cheaper.
yeah, you're right. But I think it definitely helps it not having so much exclusivity as well because of how approachable it is and I think it's just consumer happiness overall. So yeah, I agree with it being one of the fastest selling things, and COVID helps too. So
Oh yeah, COVID has helped a lot. I think for the video game industry in general, it's definitely helped. Uh, Finest, any thoughts on the Series X and S being the fastest selling console in Xbox history?
Yeah, no, I think it's amazing. I think it's actually pretty crazy. I mean, last generation they bombed, with the Xbox, with the
One.
Xbox One, and the Xbox One S. So yeah, that's not too surprising. But just thinking like back to the 360 and how much of a mass success that was for me. I mean, I'm sure the Red Ring of Death like really really like
Help
put
people.
like yeah, like I mean, because the Red Ring of Death, I ended up with 3 Xbox 360 consoles myself. But just thinking like back to that generation, it was so hot. It was just absolutely incredible. And just to think about their market share after that, how much it dipped in order for them to only be 2 years into this console generation and not even a complete 2 years. And then the Xbox Series X is already the fastest selling console that they've ever had. And they've already sold more of these consoles that, well, of course, of the S and the X than any other Xbox generation that they've had is absolutely just amazing. Good for them, and kudos to Microsoft. We just talked about how much Halo was kind of a trash fire, and just to come onto this next story and just talk about like how they're still selling Xboxes regardless is absolutely amazing. And then on top of that, like over the last 3 quarters, they've sold more consoles than Sony because the console's available. Like people
Yeah.
can find this console places where they can't find PlayStation 5s anywhere. So like why not get like a Series X and play your Elden Rings and your and whatever third party games, your Gotham Knights I know is coming out soon, and whatever games that are,
Saints
are
Row.
not, yeah, Saints Row, that are not exclusive to Sony. I think it's a smart move. I would do it myself. I mean, I bought a Series X, but I bought it for a little bit different reasons. But yeah, I think it's amazing. How about you, man?
Uh, well, yeah. Before I give my thought, Finest is still going to get a PS5, so don't worry, Sony fan. But
Yeah, I am. I
yeah.
am.
So, but I think it's remarkable, and it's always good to see just consoles doing well, in terms of sales. Do I think the Xbox Series X and S will be its best selling console ever? I mean, right now, it possibly could. I think it could pass a Xbox 360. Do I think it's gonna eventually pass like getting to like the top five? I mean, I don't think it's gonna go that. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, unless they just something dramatic happens, like they get a big first party IP or something like that. I still think it has a long way to go, but I don't think it's catching the PS4, the PS2, the Switch. I don't think it's catching any of that. I mean, I think it might be neck and neck with the PS5, depending upon how many PS5s can be made this generation. But eventually, I think the PS5 will beat it. I mean, that's just my opinion. Max, what are your thoughts?
Um, well, Michael, you mentioned that because the Xbox in general is an amazing third-party system. I agree, and especially with the amount of younger, new video game players, I think that the Xbox currently is a great start for them. Like, there's a lot on there that you can offer it for a lot of a variety of reasons. Like, especially with Game Pass. Like, I know on this show I've talked about how personally speaking, I have felt like Xbox has been on life support, and the only thing drip feeding it life has been Game Pass. That isn't to say that I don't want Xbox to survive. I really do. And I think that just it's an amazing machine, and it's got a lot of amazing games on it. And although some of the Game Pass games may not be for us veteran kind of gamers, you could say, it's got a lot for people starting out, younger kids or what have you. And like being a parent, not that I am one, but if I was getting my child a game system and they didn't know what to get and they wanted to get an Xbox, I think that'd be amazing, because with Game Pass they'll always have something to look forward to. And you're not going to be going out all the time to break the bank. So it definitely makes sense to me that this is the fastest selling console for sure, because of its accessibility.
Yeah.
So
I definitely agree with you there. Definitely.
Yeah, it's always good when we talk about Xbox in a positive light. Let's switch to games for gold, and this lineup isn't too bad if you ask me. Got 4 games: Calico, Scourgebringer, Saints Row 2, and Monaco. Calico is available August 1st through August 31st. Scourgebringer is available August 16th through September 15th. Saints Row 2, August 1st through August 15th. And Monaco, August 16th through August 31st. So those are the 4 games for games with gold. Looks like these are, I think they said until what, October, that they'll still be doing Xbox 360 games. So Saints Row 2, if you guys haven't played that one, that's a game I would recommend you guys playing from this list. I mean, just my opinion. I think it's a good game. Not as wacky as the third or fourth one, but it's a good game. And if you like sandbox games like that, you'll have a good time with it. Max, any game here that you'd recommend our listeners and viewers?
Monaco, easily. Monaco is a great game. Just to kind of give you cliff notes on it, you pick a character. Each of these characters has a corresponding color, and each of them is they're all part of like this bank robbing or just thief ring, and each of them has a skill. One person's really good at lock picking. One person has like a pet monkey that like runs around and like grabs gold and things like that that's in the area. One guy incapacitates and kills people. It's a top-down stealth game, and everything's kind of in this square art style. And the objective is to, for every stage, find all of the gold without getting caught. And I believe you can play with multiple players. I haven't personally. It's been a minute since I've played Monaco. Personally, I have it on Steam, but it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. It's really kooky. Yeah, I think anybody itching to maybe try that out, definitely give it a try. It is fun.
100% agree. It's made even better with friends. It's similar to games sort of like what was that racing game that that's the 2D racing game that you pick a character and God, it's escaping my mind. Just like those goofy multiplayer games. Monaco is definitely one of them on top of my list. I'd recommend that game as well. Definitely.
Yeah, no recommendations here. I just I can't stop staring at the characters in Calico. Those are some thick women holding cats. But other than that, no, I don't know. Hey, Justin, are you still with us? Too tall? All right, doesn't look like he's with us anymore. He is frozen. So I will go ahead and take over. Here we go. And we are going to be talking games with Game Pass for August. And let's see. What do we have here? We have we have Turbo Golf Racing. We have 2 Point Campus. And we also have Midnight Fight Express. And lastly, we have Immortality. and all these games will be available August 1st. Um, did you guys have you guys experienced any of these games, or are you looking forward to any of these games coming up?
Yeah, 2 Point Campus is great fun. 2 Point Campus, like all those 2 Point games, 2 Point Hospital, and I think there's a new 2 Point game coming out. Yeah, they're all really good fun if you're a huge fan of strategy games and just managing real time resource management sort of games. Yeah, that game is really addicting. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And what about you,
Mhm.
Max?
I'm excited for 2 games on this list. Turbo Golf Racing looks like a lot of fun. It looks like they take the speed golf element of Mario Golf and oh man, the name is escaping me.
Rocket
Rocket
League.
League?
Rocket League.
Rocket League. That's what we're talking about. And you put them together, and that's what this to me looks like. And I am absolutely on board with it. And then, yeah, Midnight Fight Express. That looks like a great. I've seen a little bit of gameplay of that, and that definitely looks right up my alley. Looks nice and like, I don't know, creepy and grungy, and amazing to hit somebody.
All right, so these are the 4 day 1 Xbox Game Pass games coming to August. One of them coming out next week, Turbo Golf Racing. Yeah, that looks fun, especially if you are, a fan of Rocket League. Yeah, that's coming out August 4th, I want to say. And then, yeah, 2 Point Campus. I mean, that looks like another game I'd definitely give a try. Midnight Flight Express. That's one I'm very curious about. And then Immortality. Yeah, that I don't think that really interests me too much, but I mean, yeah, definitely a lot to look forward to if you have a Xbox Game Pass for for the month of August. I renewed mine. I might do it for one more month. I still want to play As Dusk Falls, so I mean, haven't had a chance to get into that one yet. And oh yeah, and when we all doing the whole Shredder's Revenge thing with Game Pass, that was one of the reasons why I renewed.
I don't know. Whenever I'm ready. I mean, you and me have already played together, so
Yeah,
I don't know about it. I don't know about everyone else. You gotta hit up everyone else. So
Mr. Madness, Ted, wherever you guys are. Yeah, if you guys are listening, let's get on it. All right. Let me grab my notes. All right, and that will do it for Game Pass. I mean, well, not Game Xbox news. Thanks for taking over while I had to dip out, Finest. So let's see. Additional game news. Annapurna Interactive Showcase. We're just gonna go through the games here very quickly with that. They had uh, only really one game I was interested in, and that's Thirsty Suitors.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's a pretty good one. The other games that they had was Hindsight. They had Edith Finch, Forever Ago, Outer Wilds. That's actually a pretty good game. Bounty Star, Maquette, Ho Ho Come, Falak, Solar Ash, The Pathless, If Found, The Lost Wild. Finance, you watched this, or I know you deep dived into this because I know you're the one that posted the news story in our Discord. What's any games on here that our viewers or listeners should probably give a go?
yeah, all of them.
All of them.
Yeah, Annapurna Studios,
Mm.
or interactive studios, they very rarely strike out. Like if you look at their record in terms of gameplay and games that they put out, like the games are very indie, but in the same respect, they're all almost like indie AAA caliber, like if that was a way to put it. So like, the Pathless has already been out. Um Hoholcum is a game that's already been out. Solar Ash has been a game that's already been out. Outer Wilds is a game that's already been out. Edith Finch, the first, not the newest one, like one that they have here, but the original Edith Finch has already came out. Maquette has already come out. Like a lot of these games have already been out and they're available now. You can purchase them on, just depending on what console, or if you're on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. A lot of these games have already come out, but they're all bangers. Like there's none of those games that I mentioned are like, oh, like B tier or C tier or D tier. Like they're all very well done games. Of course, they all have like their hiccups. Just every game does in some respects. But yeah, Annapurna Interactive Studios rarely does wrong by gaming, and so when you look at their gaming lineup, I think you can really go to whatever art style or whatever aspects of a game or whatever. Just honestly, you should try all their games, but like you can look at their games and kind of decide what speaks to you the best because they have such a variety in terms of gameplay. But yeah, I don't think you're going to go wrong playing any of their games. All these games are excellent games, especially the ones that have come out so far that we can base it on.
I was watching the trailer for or the gameplay for Thirsty Suitors. I find it kind of weird. It has RPG elements. She battles her exes, and then it's like she goes to like some skate park where she skateboards. So it's like RPG mixed with like a little bit of Tony Hawk, I guess. It's kind of interesting that it kind of doesn't make sense, but it's like I want to just play it to see just how it all connects. Really, I mean, I just find it that interesting. So I
I
find it
mean, two African American females as the lead protagonist, like already caught my eye. I was like,
yeah,
really?
yeah.
Like I was like, wow, I'm down for that.
Max or Michael, any of the games on this list interest you, or are you familiar with any of them?
Well, I'm a huge indie fan, so a lot of these games interest me. But yeah,
All
I'm
right,
definitely
well,
also
we'll
interested
speak
in
on.
Thirsty Suitors as well. That it definitely looks like a fun game. Like it's really different, and the art style is super unique. So yeah, I'm really interested to give that a go when it comes out eventually. Mm.
All right, sounds good. Max, anything on this list interest you, or game or
Um,
games?
yeah, two games actually. Thirsty Suitors for sure. I was definitely getting like a Persona feel from this.
Yeah,
Mm.
Um,
same here.
Hmm.
and I love me some Persona. And I think that the message at the end too, I like from the trailer that I was watching. Like when you defeat, it's not really a spoiler, being front and center in front of us, this gameplay image here. When you defeat, I think an X, you can reconcile with them, and I think that's a pretty positive message. That's pretty cool. Um, the other game that I'm interested in is the second game on the list, which is Hindsight. As it was described as kind of like, and I'm a big fan of this, but objects have the ability to take you into memories, um, which I'm always like a big fan of. I'm always a big fan of that kind of concept. Like, like if you go listen to my show, I, I I look at a pen and I'll tell you how old I was, what it reminds me of, what video games I was playing. Who were my best friends in school. Like following those threads, I've always been like a big fan of. So Hindsight for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, definitely got a great list of games that are coming or that are already out. So definitely we'll leave a link to that recap of the Annapurna Interactive Showcase in the show notes, so you guys can go check it out for yourself and determine if you guys want to get any of these games or not. So I mean, great showcase, and uh, special thanks to IGN for covering it, of course. All right, so I guess we got to get into uh, Star Wars talk. Knights of the Old Republic. So apparently, the PS5 remake is reportedly being delayed indefinitely. This is not a good sign. So, with that being said, looks like the developers' Asper remake of the fan favorite Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic for the PS5 has been delayed indefinitely. Um, let's see. Looks like two of the lead designers were like let go from the project. So, I mean, they put out the trailer and it looked pretty good to me. So, I mean, it are they gonna go with a new team, or are they gonna get, are they just gonna cancel the project just entirely, just permanently suspend it? Um, Michael, did you ever play Knights of the Old Republic back in the day?
No, I've never played Knights of the Old Republic, but
No.
I've heard so much about it. I have, I really have, and I think it's definitely on one of my. It's definitely on my backlog. I just need to clear everything and get to it eventually. I'm sorry, I can't make excuses up for it.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, I haven't dipped into it either, so I'm right there with you.
Guys, come on.
I'm not a big Star
Sorry.
Wars guy. I'm sorry. Last Star Wars game I played was Battlefront. No,
The
Battlefront
last
2.
time, the last one I
Okay.
played was Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Max. It seems like you have a lot to say about this. Go ahead.
I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed. When I saw that trailer, it was like Darth Revan, and he ignites that lightsaber, and he's in beautiful 4K. I'm just like, oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. What are they going to do with it? Are they going to make it like Fallen Order, or are they going to continue to make it like a turn-based, BioWare original like it usually was? Like, I was so excited to see where they would take it, because like I like Star Wars, I do, but what really gets me excited is expanded universe Star Wars. Like reading those books from like the 80s, like where they had like Admiral Thrawn and like everything happening after the events of like Return of the Jedi. Like that was the stuff that I always thought was like really, really cool. Those old Dark Horse comics. And Knights of the Old Republic really fit into that kind of bigger universe with like, I don't know, like the Star Forge. Like I could go on and on about it, but like Darth Revan was so cool because he was just like, I'm a Jedi and I was like a Sith, and then this is like, but I can be both. And it's just like, whoa, you're breaking the rules. You're like in the middle. This is amazing. What can you do with this? And it just, oh, I could gush, I can go crazy with it, but like, I'm just disappointed. You know, it's, it is what it is.
Finals.
Yeah, you know what? I think the biggest thing to take away from this is the development studio. I know I'm not pronouncing the name of the studio correctly. It's like
Yeah. Yep.
Aspire,
Aspire.
Aspire,
Aspire.
Asper.
Yeah. So anyway, like for them like all they do is ports. Like if you look at their record, like all they've done is ports, traditionally smaller ports, and for like Lucasfilm and Sony to invest in them in this project, and then for them to show Sony and Lucasfilm what they imagined this remake to be, and it not be something phenomenal, and where they have to delay the game indefinitely, I mean, is very worrisome. Like that is that's difficult to hear, but I mean,
Yeah.
you know, Sony showed this game at a state of play. Like they were like, "Hey, this is going to be one of our big. This is one of our big announcements. Like we're bringing KOTOR back to you. You know, the everyone out there.
Everyone was pumped for it.
Yeah, everyone's pumped for it. So for someone to like, it has to be like a solid remake. It has to be something that's to the degree of like Crash Bandicoot, that's to the degree of Shadow of the Colossus, that's to the degree of like all these wonderful remakes that like people have done. And if they can't hit that point, like KOTOR is such a beloved game and is such a just a big part of the overall Star Wars franchise and lore, that if you're not getting it right, yeah, I understand like Sony and Lucasfilm delaying it. It's just devastating that this had to go down for this, and actually worry about Aspire as a whole, because like if you can't develop like a remake of a game that's already
Yeah.
been like done, like all you have to do, like of course you're gonna have to figure out like some gameplay mechanics, and you have to like kind of like make it more seamless than it was. But for a game that's already been completed in retrospect, that's already been redone, it was redone for the Switch. like I just, man, there's definitely a disconnect there, and I'm a little disheartened to hear about the news. I was really looking forward to this game. I'm not going to go back to the original because the game the game doesn't hold up, but I was really looking forward to this, and I think it'll come. I think Sony just needs to find the appropriate developer to really make this vision come to life.
Sorry, could I interrupt just slightly? When you say it was redone for the Switch, do you mean like a remaster, like rather than a remake, maybe?
Yeah. For the Switch, it was just a remaster, so it was very much the same game, just with a little bit higher graphics, smooth textures and things like that. So, but
Yeah.
they said that the next one for PlayStation 4 was going to, well, they really didn't say, but it was going to be like a remaster of the remaster, or a remake of the remaster.
It
I
was
don't
like a
know.
remake, I think. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised though if we see a situation because, and I think it's one of the reasons why Metroid Prime 4 has been delayed because they had to switch studio teams. So yeah, let's not talk about that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I could see a similar situation happening here with Aspire being taken off the whole project and
Mhm.
them going with someone else. So I wouldn't be surprised about that at all. So I mean, something bad must have happened for this to get permanently, just delayed. I
Yeah.
mean, just a straight bump in the road, and who knows when this is going to come out now. So
If we're talking about standards set by remasters, I reckon it's gonna be a tough bar to meet because of what Capcom sorry, I don't want to speak, but what Final Fantasy VII achieved was
Yeah.
just absolutely
Mhm.
that was a remake if I've ever seen one. That was amazing. Yeah, still going off topic here, but I can't wait for the second installment to come out, which should be soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
all right. So with that being said, we are going to talk about some games. We're going to go into the game spotlight. Uh, we're going to talk four games that have been hot: MultiVersus, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Digimon Survive, and Amori. Amori, isn't that kind of old? Well, we'll get to that. Let's start with the banger, MultiVersus. I played it. It's fun. I'm not very far into it, but I played it. I'm that green rain dog. Both I think the two matches I've had, we did win. So I've been doing the tag team matches. It's fun, and I'm still just learning the mechanics. If you're a big Super Smash Brothers fan, I think they got it with this. That this is the best clone of any Super Smash Brothers game I've ever played. Better than PlayStation's All Star Battle Royale, and it looks better. I didn't play the Nickelodeon game, but I think it is. But I can safely say that it's better than that. So, I mean, I like it because there's really like no weapons coming all over the place. But even though in Smash, if you don't want the weapons, you can always turn those off. Um, I think the only downside to it I have is, besides having to play, to unlock your characters, is obviously just, more characters coming to the game in general. But I'm pretty sure that will come later on. So, Finance, you've gotten into this game. You've been playing it. You said you couldn't get off it. What have you been enjoying about it?
Yeah, no, I just the mechanics. I feel like overall, things were a little bit more fluid than Smash was in terms of like my enjoyment and what I was experiencing with it. Um, so that was like one positive. But I mean, just the game was fun. I enjoyed I enjoyed the nuances of the game. I enjoyed everything from like Batman's smoke bombs to like Wonder Mutant shield abilities. Um, the dog that you're talking about was a custom character, so I'm not entirely sure like how that pans out. But it's awesome that they're making custom characters for the game also. I really like the abilities. I really like the gameplay. I think the levels were probably the worst part of the game for me. Like in terms of like Smash Brothers, the levels all had very much a personality of their own. and then like there was like small levels, there was levels that changed and altered, had destructible abilities and things of that nature. So the game was just a lot of fun overall. I think as time goes on, um, I think it's gonna be big. I mean, the game is already big. I don't know if you're gonna talk about that later, but the game of in terms of concurrent users, it had like something like 144,000 concurrent users like in the beta, like on the first day. So which was epic. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this game does on release day, or just for the next several months.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it looks like it's gonna be good. I think we'll go to you next, Michael. Are you ready for this to come to Switch already, or well, you have PC too, so you can just play it on there, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm,
I'm a longtime Smash fan. I've been
mm,
playing Smash for since Melee, and I really appreciate where this game is coming from. I think how do I put this? The one thing I don't like Nintendo doing is keeping Smash solely on Switch, because it limits the amount of
mm,
possibilities it could have in terms of the competitiveness and the amount of players that have access to it. So what this game is doing is really opening it up, and like you said, it's definitely one of the best Smash clones out there. I would even go as far as to say, if they added something like a Smash Ball mechanic into the game, I would not be mad at that at all. I think those characters definitely deserve something special as well. So yeah, I've been looking at this game as well, but I haven't actually downloaded it yet, so I need to get onto it. Just another game to add to the backlog of all the multiple games I have to play. But yeah,
yeah,
it's definitely looks like fun. It's one of those games where you can play for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then put it down and play something else. So
yeah,
but still get like your max enjoyment out of it.
yeah. It's very fun, very enjoyable. Definitely one of those games you can have people coming over, drink a beer, sit on the couch, just let's play
Yeah.
this. I mean, especially if you don't have Nintendo, can't play Smash. Hey, play this instead. This is equally as fun, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And Max, any thoughts on MultiVersus?
Yeah, no. This definitely caught my eye. Just, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see just kind of how far they're willing to go within like the Warner Brothers properties, um, in terms of like just who are getting, like, for example, like Arya Stark from Game of Thrones definitely wasn't planning on seeing her in anything anytime soon, especially like a Smash clone, like a good Smash clone. Um, and hey, I mean, Warner Brothers and NetherRealm Studios, they're kind of like this. Maybe we'll see some Mortal Kombat characters. Be into that. For sure.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it would
Well,
have been
from
nice
the
to see
data
some.
mine.
Mhm.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
Oh, yeah, it would have been nice to see some Mortal Kombat characters for Smash, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you'll never see that in Smash, but I mean, there's a possibility you could see that in this game. And like we already got like an announcement, like a Rick and Morty is going to be in the game. LeBron James is going to be in the game. I don't know if you saw Space Jam 2, like anyone here, but you can pretty much imagine like any of those characters that you saw within that movie could be potentially characters within this movie. But I like the fact that they're reaching even outside of their traditional threshold of characters within their studio, and they're trying to get characters that are popular outside of their studio. And I think that's the most important part, very much like Smash Brothers did with like they got Snake from Metal Gear Solid, they got Cloud, they got
Banjo Kazooie.
Mega
yeah,
Man,
Banjo
Sonic.
Kazooie, like, and I think that's going to be the most important part about, well, one of the most important parts about like I think they already had, the feel and the foundation. I think it better, like it just making the levels like better overall and more immersive, and then introducing those characters that are just iconic to the game industry are going to be the next best parts, and really bringing this game together and keeping the audience engaged.
Mhm.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
I
very
can't
well
wait to see
said.
a competitive scene for it as well. I'm
Yeah,
all
It'll be
about
Oh yeah,
interesting.
competitive gaming.
yeah,
Mm.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what the competitive scene looks like for this. So I'm sure we all are. So with that being said, another game we're talking about for Game Spotlight, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 just came out today. Well, I guess for you yesterday, Michael, but
Yeah.
I mean, you're a big JRPG fan. I know you've been wanting to talk about this. Have you dipped into it yet? Do you plan on dipping into it?
I have not. I have not, but I have a friend who's been playing it nonstop. I can't get her to play Hunt with me anymore, and it's the freaking
Oh,
most annoying thing. But I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 1, but in honesty, 1 was very very repetitive for me. But the story was great. I mean, we don't uh, the gameplay is a huge part, but stories and characters, like you mentioned before, is also like a huge part of JRPGs in general. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3 looks really really good. Um, I can't wait to get my hands on a copy as well. I probably need to go back home to buy it because I live in a small mining town and we have nothing here. So yeah, definitely looking forward to playing this. It's going to be great. I'm looking really forward to it. Mm.
Max, you have a Switch. Is this on your radar of games you want to play this year?
Well, it is and it isn't. It is because I was a huge fan of Xenoblade 2. I was a huge fan, but I'm not a huge fan of. I just it was so long, so
Yeah,
It's a
long.
yeah,
JRPG, man.
yeah.
I know, but like I bought this game, right? Okay, so I had this theory that I was the reason COVID lasted so long is because I bought this as my COVID game.
Oh
And
boy.
throughout the whole 2 years, up until like earlier this year, is when I beat it.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a
And
long
now,
time.
and
That's a
I
long.
know lockdown was my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you should be. Now I'm upset. Now that you fessed that up on live on the air, you will have hundreds and thousands of people that are going to be upset with you.
Telling me never to play JRPGs again. You got
Pretty
it.
much.
Yeah, that's why I don't dip into them that much because they are long. But I mean,
Oh, I thought
the
you were going
next
to
one
say
I
because
do
of
want to
COVID.
play is no, no, they're just long. No, not COVID, no. But actually, Live Alive that doesn't look like it would be that long. But I
No,
mean,
I
that's
think
a whole
they
other story for
said that
another
was
time.
like 18 hours or something like that. So,
Yeah, that doesn't
Oh,
look
it's
like.
not
Yeah,
bad.
that's I
yeah,
can that I can do.
yeah.
That I can do. But yeah, the Xenoblade games. I have the first two. They're just extremely long. I haven't beaten them. I was surprised that they just went straight to 3. I thought they would have done like a remaster for Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii U. That's what I thought they would have did next, but I don't
I
know. I mean,
mean,
hopefully they don't forget about it.
they did do a remaster for 1,
One,
right?
yeah, they did a
Yeah.
remaster for 1. So I
Yeah.
mean,
If it's
and
not
that deserves
Xenogears,
it.
I'm not playing it.
Really.
Sorry.
Xenogears. So the maker of Xenoblade
Yeah.
originally made a game called Xenogears. He had a disagreement with Square Enix in terms of like one of the creators that worked at Square Enix in terms of what the game should be, and then he went off and made Xenoblade. And Xenoblade has been a game that they've branched into a series that is what it is, and they took a lot of the ideas and tropes and things from Xenogear and incorporated in Xenoblade. But Xenoblade to me is the knockoff, is the game that should not exist
Mm.
because
So
I
Gears
started
never
the
saw the light
original.
of day.
It did. The Gears was on the PlayStation, and then it never. After that, it just never had a sequel, and it's honestly one of the best RPGs of all time. So
Is it only on the PlayStation?
yeah,
Oh my lord!
yeah.
It's time to get an
Yeah.
emulator.
Yep. I mean, you have a PC. I mean, yeah, just fire one up.
Do you have an
RetroArch.
Android?
I do have an Android. I
There
do
you
have an
go.
Android. Yeah. It's just all these good games and recommendations. I have to. It's just oh my god, the backlog is getting ever more and more daunting.
Yeah. You joining this podcast. I think we just already doubled your backlog. Look, I'm
Uh,
sorry, but yeah.
one game I'm looking forward to that isn't talked about enough is the Aliens Fireteam DLC.
Okay.
That comes out I think next month at the end of next month. Oh yeah, fuck it. We're never gonna
Well,
get the
shit.
end of
Like
it.
we'll have to talk about it more.
Mm.
I'm
definitely.
sure we would have talked about it like toward the end of the month
Yeah,
or towards like when it was coming out, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know enough about it. So
I played the hell out of the base game.
All right. Another game in the game spotlight, Digimon Survive. That also came out today. Well, I guess yesterday for you, Michael. I haven't really played any Digimon games, even back in the day when I feel like it was more popular, along with Pokemon. Uh, anyone familiar with Digimon games in general or anything?
A
A little
little.
bit. Michael, you wanna lay your expertise?
this is this is like a giant step to in like a completely different direction from original like Digimon games from you can say the DS and handheld consoles. Like when I think of Digimon, I think of it's just a and people are gonna hate me for this. It's a more complicated version of Pokemon.
Yeah.
There's more um the fact that you can devolve and evolve and the fact that your Digimon can evolve into like a digivolve into a different form based on the base stats that it has is just it's a really nice mechanic that you have to plan for to achieve the mon that you want. So what this game actually does is it goes into a visual novel sort of direction and sort of Final Fantasy Tactics direction as well, which is don't believe from memory has been done by Digimon before. So from what I've read so far and from what I've seen, like 3 hours of uh what do you call it? It was just uh the not visual novels, 3 hours of visual novels, and there's been like 2 fights. So um it's not really focused on the combat, but from what I've seen, the combat is really good. And I mean, it's a Digimon game, so you have a lot of variety as well. But mainly they're praising it for the story and the characters and the way that they've presented itself as a visual novel. As you can see from the trailer, the art looks absolutely beautiful, and looking at it almost makes me cry. I really want to play this game a lot. Yeah.
You really do? Wow.
Mm.
Well, I'm sorry that we added another game to your backlog.
This was already there. This was already there.
This was already there.
Yeah.
F-Man, did you ever play any Digimon games back in the day?
no,
I know
because
you were
they're all
big into
horrible.
Pokemon.
Oh
No,
no,
like
I really can't say that.
look at okay, look at Digimon Cyber Sleuth was a role playing game. That would have been which was the last one that came out in 2017 or 2019, 2017.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Somewhere in there. That game was in my wheelhouse because it was a role playing Digimon game. I'm like, oh, that makes sense in the terms of Digimon world and them evolving into characters that get stronger and stronger. That made sense. So yeah, that was like I'm all about that. But like Digimon Adventure, Digimon Racing, all these other Digimon games, like I don't I honestly like Michael, not to hurt your feelings, I don't think they were good games.
No, they weren't. I'm not gonna argue with that one. No, I'm more thinking about the classic Digimon games on like the DS and stuff. Those were good
Okay.
games. Yeah.
So I didn't get a lot of time with the ones on the DS, so I can't really speak to those. But like you said, they're in a sense they're Pokemon games with a little bit of a spin on it. So I love Pokemon games. Like I said, I didn't play the Digimon games, but in terms of Digimon Survive and in terms of strategy games, I love strategy games. Final Fantasy Tactics is one of my favorite games of all time. Disgaea is also one of my favorite games of all time. And looking at this and just bringing that kind of that RPG mechanic that they took from Digimon Cyber Sleuth and bringing it to Digimon Survive, but taking away the like not like the RPG mechanics necessarily, but bringing it into a strategy based game, I think makes a lot of sense. And I'm really excited about this one. I'm so happy it came out today/yesterday. And I haven't been I don't think I've ever been this excited for a Digimon game. And I'm like looking forward to like watching the anime all over again, just so I can get reincorporated with the characters. I don't know if these characters are the same characters in the anime, but just the fact that like if I'm gonna jump into a Digimon game, I'm gonna rewatch the most recent anime, maybe a couple seasons of it. And yeah, I'm super excited about this game, and I haven't heard a ton about it so far, but yeah, I'm regardless of the reviews, I'm gonna play it. So
Yeah, I cannot agree with you more. I'm pretty sure they added in. I'm not 100% sure, so please correct me. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong as well. I'm pretty sure they added in new Digimons for this game as well, which is something that we haven't seen in a very, very long time.
well,
I'm
Digimon was
pretty
insane
sure.
with the characters, like since they already had like so many evolutions, and then like some of them had like already had like, I know in Pokemon it's more recent where they had like different regions, like where they like it's the same Pokemon but they like evolve into different characters depending on the region.
Mm,
Like Digimon was already like that. Digimon like had the same base character where like it was almost regional, but they didn't call it regional, where they can like evolve into different characters depending on like where they're at or what they're doing. So like very much not new to them. But yeah, I mean Digimon like already like Digimon had like 1,000 characters when Pokemon was still at like 500.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know what you mean. Yeah, the variety in Digimon is insane, and I
yeah,
think it's definitely been overshadowed by the fact that Pokemon is the more popular franchise. But Digimon needs love.
yeah.
Digimon really needs love. Yeah, and
Hey,
this game is giving it
mm,
that to
yeah.
the franchise definitely.
Hey, Max, anything you want to add in on the conversation with Digimon Survive?
Guy with the goggles is always the team leader. No, you know what? I actually got a kind of a weird horror game vibe from this. Just kind of from the trailer, it reminded me a little, maybe not to the, I guess, same extent as Corpse Party. If anybody's ever played that or heard of
Mm.
that, it
Yeah.
kind of gave me like a creepy vibe. Like this Digimon game is kind of going into more, I don't know, adult territory in some areas. It seemed, at least that's the vibe I got from this trailer. But yeah, totally excited for this. I think that based on your banter back and forth, you two guys, like this could be the shot Digimon needs in the arm to really revitalize it and put it like back out into the forefront. Similar, uh, maybe not to the same extent, but I'd like to see more. I'd love to see more Digimon. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch the Digimon movie as soon as we're done.
Yes.
And I'm gonna
Pop
tell
that
you
on.
right now, I pulled up Corpse Party while you were speaking, and no, nothing like Corpse Party.
Okay, maybe all right. It's the first thing that came to my mind, but it definitely gave me like a horror-ish vibe.
Yeah. Oh man, I know for
Oh
me,
no, I totally understand. With the hands coming out of the wall and
Oh yeah,
the kid there with the hollow eyes. Yeah.
yeah, and everybody seems to like just be on edge with each other, and like
Mm.
there's like, I don't know, actual fights, verbal and physical assault within the team. It's just like I don't remember my Digimon doing this.
It's definitely a lot more mature
Yeah.
than compared to previous Digimon games.
I remember
Yeah,
them
for sure.
stepping in like pink poo and like I don't know,
I
Yeah,
mean, I know,
gears flying into people. Like
I know when I was growing up, between Digimon and Pokemon was the more popular one, but it's
Yeah.
good to see that Digimon's getting some love here, and hopefully people start talking about it again. I don't think it'll ever get to the level that of Pokemon, but
Nah.
no,
you know,
definitely
but
not.
no, but it's good for the franchise, and it does have its cult following, so I am happy that they can stand behind a game that they can be proud of. All right.
I think later this year when you guys talk about Pokemon more when the new game is closer on release or when we get leaks for new Pokemons, then we can really have a discussion about the direction Pokemon is going because it's so slow. It's just so incredibly slow, and they're so afraid of doing something new. But that's for another time, I reckon. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, and
Agreed.
then last game we're going to talk about is Mori, and I don't really know too much about this game. Finance, you want to take it away here? Because you're the one that put it on the outline. I'm just being
Yeah.
honest.
No, you're totally fine. I just wasn't expecting it to be handed off. But no, Amori is a interesting game. The reason why I put it on the outline is because it is essentially like it's been out since 2020 on PC. But the thing is, like, after multiple Kickstarters, it was supposed to come out on the PlayStation, Xbox, Actually, it was originally supposed to come out on, I want to say, like the Wii U. If I'm
Lauren?
not mistaken, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I'm not entirely sure now.
Well, I'm gonna keep on spouting. So correct
Mm,
me if I'm definitely wrong. I think it was really supposed to come out on the Wii U, or it could be another system. It definitely could be. But they had multiple Kickstarters. The game was
mm,
originally supposed to be an RPG maker, from what I remember. And then it they had to change the game because just because like they essentially they couldn't support the game that they wanted to make. So essentially, like through merchandise and things that they sold, they were able to develop the game and eventually get it to a place where after a couple updates on Steam and things of that nature, that they finally got it to release on PlayStation and Xbox. And now it is this strange RPG maker slash like you're in multiple worlds game that honestly I don't think is getting enough praise and
Mm.
enough highlight, even though it's already been out for over a year and a half.
mm.
And I just I want people to know about this game. And
Okay.
I have not played it yet, but I'm looking forward to playing it. It's on Game Pass for free, and then you can also play it. Yeah, you can play it other places also
It
on,
looked
of
like
course,
it
on the
was
PCs.
PS4. It looked like Switch was on there too. So yeah,
Yeah,
it is available elsewhere if you guys want to check it out. So
yeah. I'm about to play the
more.
trailer right now too. So
All right.
It
Yeah.
gives me huge Undertale vibes. Really, really big Undertale vibes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Or like
Mm.
Earthbound.
agreed.
Yeah.
Maybe even Corpse Party.
Yeah, it's just like it just seems so twisted. I believe there's three multiple lanes on this game. Depending on what you do, there might be more, but yeah, this game has just been, yeah. It's one of those indie games that I feel like just deserves a little bit more recognition, a little more eye
Yeah.
on it. It's
Mhm.
in terms of Metacritic, at least for the, let's see, the Metacritic on it right now is 87. So yeah, it's doing very well in terms of reviews. And yeah, the last review that I see here was on January 2021. And that's going to be for the PC, and then it's being re-reviewed for the PlayStation. For the PlayStation, it has even higher Metacritic. And then for Xbox, it doesn't have anything. So yeah, looking forward to this game, and you should definitely play it if you have not yet.
All right, for sure.
Nice.
Definitely something to
Mm.
look more into. Kind of reminds me of that one game, Bendy. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that one, but
Time to
kind
add
of
it on my wish list. God damn
Bendy.
it.
All right. Last game we're going to talk about. It's actually our main discussion this week. It's a game that's not out, but apparently reports have come out about the game. Grand Theft Auto 6 or GTA 6. Things have come out about the game. Looks like the lead protagonist will be based on two true criminals, Bonnie and Clyde. So one of them will be a female. They're saying it will be a Latino character. Um, Other things about the game that have come out is, the setting of the game. They're saying it's going to be in the Miami area, so we're probably going to see a return to Vice City, and that they're going to add other games over time throughout the game. So it's going to be like, I guess, an
Live
expansion
service.
game
Mhm.
or something like that. Yeah,
Mm.
so that, and then they're predicting that the game will be coming out sometime between the summer of 2023 and the end of 2024. So I mean, I know it's just rumor, speculation, all that stuff, but we've been waiting for the next GTA 6 game for a while. So I mean, GTA 5, one of my favorite games from the PS3, Xbox 360 era. Very, very good game. And, they've been making their money with the whole online thing, especially since it took off with the PS4 and Xbox One. So I mean, do you think they'll stick to their uh, do you think they'll go to a like a games live game service, or do you think they'll stick to their traditional story and then add online features later on? We'll start with you, Max.
Uh, it's tough to say. It's the question is what's going to give them, I think, the most profit in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that well, like with any live service game, like people are gonna try and they're gonna see like, oh, like maybe this will work out, maybe we won't be another Anthem, you know. But
Sorry, Finest.
I think a lot of, well, look, I think Anthem was a really cool idea, but
No,
anyway,
I agree. Yeah.
I really do, and that really makes me sad that didn't work out. But no, and that's the thing is like, um, people. I hope that they are not tempted to try, not right away at least. Whatever that may look like, I wouldn't even know. But it just doesn't seem like anybody's been able to crack that yet. And if GTA can, like, good on them for sure, 100%. But based on I don't know, the track records we've had in the last like decade, I don't see it. I don't see it being a live service game, or if it is, not super great. Not right away anyway. But yeah.
Finest, you played GTA over the years. What are your thoughts on what you've been hearing?
Yeah, no, I'm a little bit excited. Just the fact that, I mean, in terms of the rumor, it says like this will be a fictionalized Miami,
Hmm.
which will bring it back essentially to very reminiscent of what we saw in Vice City. Of course, not with the music from what, the 70s,
80s.
or the 80s. Yeah, that's fine. But it's yeah, I'm happy to get that Miami feel. I'm happy to those hot pinks and those just like hot blues and things of that nature. Uh, I I'd be happy if the game is a female protagonist, which this talks about. I think that would be absolutely amazing. But I think that Bonnie and Clyde feel. I love Bonnie and Clyde.
Hmm.
Seen the original movie, seen the remake, so I'd be excited to see what Grand Theft Auto can do with that, especially since in the last game, Grand Theft Auto 5, they had three main protagonists that you switched between. So I'd be curious to see what they would do if they would keep that mechanic in terms of switching between characters, or if they would just keep the same main character, and you played as one of them. But I really don't see them going backwards. I would really see them kind of maybe like iterating on that, switching between characters and their point of views and their perspectives. I'm really excited about this game. Grand Theft Auto is already a live service game though. Like,
Yeah.
let's get real.
Mhm.
So
What is
I
online? Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, I mean, look, you can play the single player, which is totally fine. But when at least in this article they talked about how they're gonna have um territory, like you're gonna have your territory and there it's gonna expand over time. So when I hear that, I hear live service game. uh
Hmm.
you know so that's what I think about in terms of like the game, and I think that's a little bit worrisome because the game itself, when thinking about Grand Theft Auto and not having the full map or not being able to access the map until an update, is kind of discerning. But GTA has always had, GTA has always had this over the top, give you so much you can't handle it, like type of like vibe ever since its release. It's always come like very expansive games, and Rockstar's always provided these games that like have just been so much. So I don't think there's anything to worry about like in terms of not having the full game. But in the same respect, like I wish they kind of wouldn't have announced this, just so you don't get that kind of like those thoughts in your head, like, oh, well, like, what do you mean you're not gonna have the full map at release? You're gonna release the map over time. I'm gonna have to pay for additional maps because I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5, they already have that. live service mentality where they just keep on pumping out updates. You keep on buying shark cards and things of that nature. But yeah, I'm excited for the game. Can't wait to see what it brings. I'm even more excited that it's going to female protagonist, and I guess that's my thoughts on it.
Uh,
Sorry, I just
okay.
want to chime in here and say I
Yeah.
don't really have that much experience with GTA in general, but going off the fact that you said it was like a sort of Bonnie and Clyde vibe, and the fact that it may or may not have a female protagonist, would it be likely that you could choose to play either the male version or the female version of the protagonist? Do you know what I mean? Since it is a Bonnie and Clyde sort of dynamic.
Well, Bonnie and Clyde were both female, so.
Oh, well, it shows how like I don't know anything about history at all. But I also wanted to add the fact that the DLs, you said that they're releasing the map in sections, sort of sets a dangerous trend for future games if it does work out. What happens then is like games will see that they don't really have to put out a full sort of package before they release it, and then they'll follow suite. I don't know. It seems a little bit. I share your concern, definitely, but I don't know how to put it. I think it sets a dangerous trend for the gaming industry to follow, when if it does succeed. Do you know what?
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
totally agree with you, and that's where my worry comes from. Very much like if if it's it's a hard thing to think about when it's like, oh, okay, it's like we're gonna release we're gonna release more worlds over time, we're gonna release more missions over time, and thinking about like as a consumer, like, oh, that's their thought right off the bat. Like, so does that mean they're not giving me everything right from the get go, and then they're gonna charge me for incremental stuff as they go on? Is a very much like a thought that goes through my mind personally, and I think it's gonna go through a lot of consumers' minds as they like release updates and things like that. And just quickly before you jump in, I'm thinking Thelma and Louise. I think
Mhm.
they're both female. Bonnie and Clyde was a male and female, so I
Yeah.
just want to correct myself
Yeah.
real
I
quickly.
thought you were joking. Like.
Yeah, I thought you were
No,
like memeing.
I
no,
sort of was like, oh no, what did I
Yeah,
say?
but
What
but
did
then
I
I
no,
was
no,
but I
no.
was thinking
You're totally fine. But
yeah, but then I was thinking maybe he meant Thelma and Louise. I was actually
say?
yeah.
mad.
So
Oh.
sorry.
No,
Yeah,
no, no,
so
no
sorry
worries.
about that. Yeah.
It's
I
all
think
good.
if it's a live service thing and they sort of do what this is coming from out of left field, by the way, what Genshin Impact is doing. So you know how Genshin Impact releases a region every I want to say like 3 to 4 months maybe,
Yeah.
and that gives like the players a lot of content to dump, and it is free to play. I don't like if they do that, I wouldn't be mad at it, and then the paid content could be something else entirely that doesn't and won't affect gameplay too badly. I don't like I said, I don't actually know how they could possibly do it in a game like GTA, but I think the most likely outcome will be you pay for DLCs to unlock more of the map, more content, and
Yeah, I hope
more
they
of the
don't do
story.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's scary to even think about. I mean, hopefully they just give us the game. Maybe we pay for some DLC later. We play the base game and then just do some DLC like that. I mean, that
yeah,
would
yeah.
that would be what I would think. I don't want to play a game and be like, all right, I'm done. Oh wait, we got to pay more for this. Okay, I
Mm-mm.
mean that's what I'm afraid of. I mean, I think the way they did GTA 5 was perfect. They gave us the whole map, and then pretty much they did the online. It really sucked on the PS3 and Xbox 360, but once they got to that next generation of consoles, it was great. Just I
Mm.
mean, and it's taken off with it ever since. So I mean, they've done a good job, and they should know what they are doing when it comes to that. So hopefully, I mean, I'm just curious to see some gameplay, some demo play from it. Because I think it's been long enough. It's been almost 10 years since the last GTA came out. So we want the new one. Damn it! Just kidding. All right. With that being said, any final thoughts on GTA 6 before we do the rundown of the games coming out next week?
Yeah, just what do you guys hope for GTA 6? Like, what do you guys like? if you guys were to jump into GTA 6, like what are you guys hoping for from that game?
Me,
Probably a game where I don't have to play the previous ones to understand what I'm doing.
no, you don't. You don't.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay,
every
cool.
GTA. Yeah,
You don't. I think for me, I would just want to see something with good gameplay, improved mechanics, and then of course a good story. If obviously going back and forth between more than just one main character, I would want at least two. Like you were saying, finance. Hopefully they don't go backwards with that, but I don't see why they would. So just hopefully they can just get it together with that, and I would be very excited to play.
yeah,
Mhm. I think I'd be excited to see just kind of, at least for consoles, just some of the modding capabilities that you kind of see on PC, like incorporated into console versions. Because yeah, like some of the things that people have been able to do in the last like 10 years with GTA 5 just with mods alone is simply amazing. Like that alone has, like, I don't know, kept my interest on some like YouTube channels, you know, grown, like not really grown up, but like, in the era of GTA 5, just
yeah.
seeing the creativity of players.
Keeps that game forever fresh on PC. Like
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
way they mod it. Yeah.
yeah, you always love the community mods. All right, anything else from GTA 6? Nope. All right, so we're gonna go through the release rundown, which is very short this week. Um, we got South of the Circle coming to looks like consoles and PC. And then we also have Turbo Golf Racing coming to the Xbox Series X and X, Xbox One, and PC August 4th. And then August 5th, we have Recipe for Disaster for the PC. And with that being said, yeah, it's not a very big week. It should pick up next week a little bit. I mean, the end of the month should be spectacular, and then September, October, no, you can forget it. I think people will forget that this has been a down gaming year, but I don't. I mean, just as long as you're having fun with what's been coming out. So, but
Mhm.
Turbo Golf Racing looks fun. I mean, definitely has that feel of what is it? Um, Rocket League. I'm forgetting the game myself. um, Max, any game here that anyone should be on the lookout for? You think, or anyone should give a try?
You know what? The the first one that was kind of on the list here, it was called South of the Circle. I was just watching the trailer. It's just like, this seems like a pretty sad narrative game. It looks like you're like, I don't know, trapped after in the mountains after a plane crash, and I don't know, thinking about a promise from like a spouse or something like that. So it's just like, holy, heavy emotional heartstring tugging. As you play that, and then go immediately to Turbo Golf Racing, and then you feel better. So I would say check both out. Go
Yeah.
on a roller coaster of emotions. Let's do it. That's what we got this week.
And then Recipe for Disaster looks like a cooking game. So I mean, and I had a chance to watch the trailer, but yeah, it looks like a cooking game, kind of like what is it, Overcooked, I
Mm.
guess, for the
Hmm.
PC. So I mean, we'll see. Maybe it'll come console side later on. That's one to look out for. Um, what about you, Michael? Anything that our listener or viewers should be on the lookout for?
Apart from those three listed, I'm not really aware of anything coming out this week as well. It's like you said,
Yeah,
it's a
kind
slow
of a
week.
down,
Yeah.
kind of a slow week.
Mm.
Let me guess, finest backlog season, backlog week again.
No, I think the games that we talked about in Game Spotlight that came out
uh,
last week
yeah.
would probably be the games that you like focus on. This week, no, I wouldn't say any of these games are going to be the bangers that you would want or expect. But I could be wrong. I know Max said Turbo Golf Racing was a big one for him. So yeah, try them out. Find out what's good for you.
All right. So with that being said, time for our favorite time of the show, chat room. until we come up with a better name, I guess. All right. I lost half my comments since I had to get out early. So, since I got booted out early. So, Finance, you're going to have to kick it off and then I'll take over later.
Yeah, you can't do that to me. So my comments disappeared too. So I
Really?
don't have I don't have a lot of the comments. Yeah.
Oh, are you for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not joking. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll just go with some of the last comments that seen here. Autumn says, by adding in the past cityscapes, GTA seems to be attempting to combine both the online and roleplay aspects and create a massive open world type of experience. Let's see. I know Bravo was talking about the VR earlier. I think he was
Yeah,
playing
he
like
said currently
Resident Evil
playing
7.
Resident Evil 7 in PSVR, smiley face. Let's see. Other than that, he said Squadrons in VR is awesome. Also, he said Gran Turismo in VR with the Logitech wheel is also incredible. Chigon said, he said, don't. He said, come on, guys, don't talk about the Nintendo like that. It hasn't been updated yet, but let me tell you something. When Nintendo comes out with a new console, PlayStation and Microsoft is going to be a game over. I highly doubt that.
I think he was talking about the themes earlier for the Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
I want
Oh,
to say
sure.
he was referring to that, but yeah, they let's do let them one step at a time, man. Let's do that.
Matt Bliss said Tony Hawk Pro Skater alone makes the PlayStation Plus brilliant.
It
And
does. It's a good game.
Hmm.
let's see. Um, other than that, Natasha Ramoneko said both. Oh wait, no, that's stuff that we can't read on air.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't
Don't read
talk
that. Don't read that.
politics.
Don't read
Yeah.
that.
And then Bravo once again said Hot Wheels. He said he's buying Hot Wheels right now. Let's see. Matt Bliss said, let's see, something about the Steam Deck. Not quite 100% sure.
I think it was when we were talking about something earlier. I think when the with the Nintendo controllers and Steam. I don't know. Could have been that. And then looks like we're getting quite a bit of recent comments about Turbo Golf. I'll leave.
Yeah. Atlas DRG says Turbo Golf's wonderful. Turbo Golf.
Not
uh,
Turbo Golf Racing. It comes out
yeah.
August 4th. It's a day one Xbox Game Pass game. That's all we can tell you.
Pooper Tub said, "Hey, just tuned in. Any news on Turbo Golf? No, Turbo Golf is coming soon. You can play it on August 4th." And then, hey man,
Well,
Speedy M said, "Hey man, so excited for Turbo Golf." So Turbo Golf, I don't know. Our listeners
I
are
think we're getting
Turbo
spammed.
Golf fans. Yeah, we're getting spammed. I don't even know. They're just changing their names. Who knows? But yeah.
All right. It's been a good episode. So, with that being said, we're gonna put episode 98 in the books. Went a little hour extra longer than we should have, but hey, we had great conversation, so can't complain. Thank you for watching or listening to another episode of the Game and Watch Podcast, episode number 98. For Max, Michael, and Finest, I'm Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool, saying so long. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a good one now. Bye.
Peace.
Take care.